Right. I would like to start by saying yes, Lucy the liar. I need to let Dan from Police Abusing Powers know about this, and Tina Chave, because also if a supporter who has contacted the council on my behalf, i.e. such as Scott Andrew Home, who contacted the police because he was concerned for me yesterday, and he's contacted the MP office. Now, someone, a male, as Lucy said, has been banned from leaving what she called abusive. She said he was abusive to her this morning. I don't know who it was. She didn't give any details, and she wouldn't say if he was swearing or anything, but she's contacted the police. Do you see what I mean? They're all working against me. So, Scott, can you understand why in the comments where you called the police on my behalf and you're saying not all the cops are bad? Well, someone has done what you've done for me, and Lucy at the MP office has let the police know about this, and they've been blocked from speaking on my behalf to the MP office, even though my life has been left in danger. My safety, my welfare as a vulnerable woman, you know. So I've got a few things I've got to just very politely, as always, just let Lucy very politely let her know in voice messages her lies and her contradictions, because it's really quite amusing. Welcome to sunny Eastbourne, where the sun shines out of their what's it. So, I've made a few notes here about the conversation. So this is why it's so wonderful to record things. Hi, Bryony. I only just joined. This is someone calling people, making things difficult for you. Hi, Ian. Yeah. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because obviously she wouldn't tell me what exactly was said. Part of me understands why, but on the whole, what have they got to hide? I'm being transparent. I'm putting my own safety at risk by making these YouTube videos. They are forcing me to make these videos because I have no other choice. I have no other choice than to document this. And thanks to you, Ian, what did you say it was? DPR or something? I'm allowed to record by law on YouTube my phone conversations. It was thanks to you telling me that. I'm terrified because they'll arrest me for breaking wind. Investigative house. What did you say it was? DPR, DP something or other. DP something or other. Anyway. But wait, I've just got to let Lucy know, because I do get pleasure out of pointing out to people their lies. And to be a good liar, as you said, to be a good liar, you have to remember your lies. This is why they don't like you recording. See what I mean? What do they have to hide? I'm the vulnerable woman who's putting myself in danger because of their failings. So this is going to be interesting. So I need to really let Dan know about this. And Tina, obviously, I'm just really tired. I'm going to pass out from all of this, but I have to keep on this. Sometimes it's when you're suicidal that you have to fight back. It's with that adrenaline. Oh, I'm so tired. been having anxiety attacks and everything, and you know.
Of Caroline Ansell, Member of Parliament for Eastbourne and Wellington. We're sorry that no one is able to take your call at the moment. If you require urgent assistance and you live within Eastbourne, please call the Eastbourne.
I didn't know he's in hospital. He texted me earlier. I didn't know that. I'm sorry to hear that. He texted me earlier saying, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you know?
At Parliament.uk. Alternatively, please leave your phone number, your name, and a short message, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Oh, hello. This is just a very polite message for Lucy, whom I spoke to. This might take a few voice messages. I'm just saying that, you know, I've let my lady witness friend know about my phone, my live streaming and everything. But I need to point out that where I've apologised, you actually owe me an apology, because I've pointed out I've looked back at the recording, and you've lied to me a few times. At 6:55, I said I didn't know whom I was speaking to, and you said you were withdrawing your name. You then said you said to me your name was Lucy at the beginning, but you didn't. Several contradictions. You then reasserted yourself, saying that you did say this at the beginning. You didn't. You were lying. You have to, a good liar should remember their lies. And I apologise to you. So actually you owe me an apology. Then at 10:15, under duress, and I'm just very politely letting you know this, because it's good that we should both be on the same page. I told you that that there is I told you that there is, hang on a minute. You told me at 10:15 that there is no David. No, I say to you that you had told me that there is no David that works there.
To save message, press 0. To repeat recording, message saved.
This is going to take a few phone calls. I don't care. I don't care. And I know that there are troublemakers, even in the PAP community, but we have to have discernment about who we can and can't trust. But I know that there are some good people. I just hope that people aren't causing trouble when they contact Dan on my behalf, because I don't know what people can and can't say, but that's something that I have to do. I have to take a chance. I'm feeling extremely anxious, actually, because I'm being put through this.
Member of Parliament for Eastbourne and Wellington. We're sorry that no one is able to take your call at the moment. If you require urgent assistance and you live within Eastbourne, please call the Eastbourne Community Hub on 01323 679 722. If you live in Wellington, Jevington, Wannock or Polegate, please call the Wilden Community Hub on 01323 443322. You may also like to email Caroline at caroline.ansell.mp mp@parliament.uk. Alternatively, please leave your phone number, your name and a short message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hello, Lucy. Yes, it's Bryony McCarthy. A message for Lucy. I'm sorry, but I said this would take several voice messages. So at 10:15 of the recording, I told you that you were telling me that there was no David that works there. You absolutely denied this. And then you asked me if I was recording the call. I repeat that you say you did say this. And then you said you didn't, and that you said at the big. And then you said you didn't say that at the beginning, and several times I said this at the beginning. So this is basically another lie. So what I'm at the very beginning, several times I mentioned David's name very clearly. You then said that I need to say this at the beginning, which I did several times under duress. I said I didn't need to do this legally, but anyway, you weren't making any sense. So several times I mentioned David at the start. And of course, there was a misunderstanding because I didn't hear you say the name. What was it? Daisy or something. I don't know. But I very clearly said David several times at the start of the call. But you said that there was no David there, and I misheard you. You said Daisy, but you said I didn't say this, and I said several times at the beginning David's name several times. So I'm afraid that's a lie.
To save message, press 0. To repeat record, message saved.
Let's just hope that my live stream is not being tampered with.
Of Caroline Ansell, Member of Parliament for Eastbourne and Willingdon. We're sorry that no one is able to take your call at the moment. If you require urgent assistance and you live within Eastbourne, please call the Eastbourne Community Hub on 01323 679 722. If you live in Willingdon, Chevington, Monarch or Polegate, please call the Wilden Community Hub on 01323 443322. You may also like to email Caroline at caroline.ansell.mp@parliament.uk. Alternatively, please leave your phone number, your name and a short message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hello, Lucy. This is, as I said, it's going to take several messages to say this. It's Bryony McCarthy speaking. At 10:44 of the recording, I let you know your lie. That at the start of the call, I have it recorded that you're saying that there is no David there. You then say Daisy, which I misheard. But anyway, you still, you see what I mean? You've still contradicted yourself. So I just wanted to clear that one up. And also at sorry, was there something at 10:28? No, there wasn't. Then at 14:28, you said to me that, I'm trying to find it now. I've made quite a lot of notes. I said to you that I am, Lucy, that I am used to people saying we're going round in circles and being hung up on. I've had a lot of people in the local authorities do this to me. And you said to me, Lucy, no one will hang up on me. You do both. At 12:36, you used the phrase, we are going round in circles. And at 25:07, you said, I'm terminating the call, and you did. And I have witnesses for all of this. Just to finish off, at 18:57, you said,
to save message, press 0. To repeat record, message saved.
deep breaths. Deep breaths. So if they try to do something crazy like arrest me, and I'm feeling very weak right now, you witnessed all of this, okay? I don't know who I can and can't trust.
Up on 01333 679 722.
They've done their utmost to break me for just for speaking the truth.
On 01333 You may also like to email Caroline at...
But I don't even want to see a police officer during a welfare check because of what they're doing. So, because they're playing these evil, manipulative games. Hello, it's Bryony McCarthy. Message for Lucy. At 18:57, you said to me, in the recording of our phone conversation today, you said I can't help you, I'm afraid. And yet at 19:54, you said you'd try to help, quote, seek. And then lastly, at 24:27, you said, quote, you really need to get on with other calls, despite me phoning back to leave voice messages and temporarily blocked, which doesn't sound busy to me. You've left me in dangerous circumstances, because obviously you terminated the call at 25:07 anyway. But at 24:32, I asked you what happened to all my voice messages for the MP office, which I've live streamed. And you said to me, Lucy, quote, you said to me that they would ring me back. And I said, they never have. I haven't had a call back. And that you don't sound interested and you find this offensive. Well, I find it offensive, 25:07, you terminating my call, which Tina says you're not allowed to do. And this is someone who works for Deep State. So it's all there. It's all there. And you've left me in dangerous circumstances. So your feelings don't really matter when your job is to protect me. And you are complicit in failing me and leaving me in distress right now as I speak. So, because...
To save message, press 0. To repeat record, message saved.
Because of her failings. Because of their failings. Right. Now a message for... Okay, so I've done as much as I can there. I'm feeling quite weak now. I'm feeling really quite shaky. Oh, yes, and it's been 18 weeks. I mean, Scott, I know you call the police and you said that they're helping me, and you say you've called the MP office for me, and you said it's irrational for me to leave messages for the MP office. But you said you contacted them yourself, and now they've now contacted the police because someone has been abusive on my behalf. So Scott, if you're watching this,
of Caroline Ansell.
Scott Andrew Horn, if you're watching this, I hope you understand.
Please call the Eastbourne Community Hub on 01323 679 722. If you live in Willington, Jellington, Wannock or Polegate, please call the Wilden Community Hub on 01323
I just don't know what I'm.
3322.
I don't see the point of going on anymore because they're not doing anything. I'm too scared to go back into the accommodation for my own safety. Well, my things are.
Short message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Lucy, this is Bryony McCarthy again. Yes, by the way, it's been more than 12 weeks since I put the CFO on notice. It's now been 16 weeks since I did that without a response from the council saying that they've been left me in dangerous circumstances. So that was the 1st of December. It's now the 6th of April. So December, January, February, March, April. Yes, 4, 8, 12, 16 weeks, not 12 weeks. Just thought I'd let you know. Because the longer you leave this, the more you're traumatizing me. This has been half a year now that I've been self-funding thus far in these circumstances. Yeah, okay, all right, thanks very much. Bye.
To save message, press 0. To repeat, message saved.
No one can say I've been rude. They can say I've been distressed. It's whatever you want it to be. They drive you mad. John Bartlett. I've just read your comment, Brian. Some post is going to the people that really I need responses from. It's gone to my partner's care of address.
You've reached the voicemail of John Bartlett, housing officer. I'm sorry that I'm unable to take your call at the moment. If you could please leave me a message including your name, the address it relates to, and your telephone number, I will deal with it as soon as I can. Please note that my normal working hours are between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, and any call made outside of these times will not be picked up until the following working day. If the call relates to an emergency repair, please call 07856 984 365.
I do need a sugary cup of tea.
Please leave your message after the tone. To re-record your message, key hash at any time.
Hello, John. This is Bryony speaking. I just wanted to let you know, or as well as ask you, if you've where I am at, because I'm constantly being fobbed off with lies with the council. The head of housing, Gary Hall, is meant to have got involved. I've got recorded evidence of this. David Sharp, housing needs specialist. I've been extremely ill from all of this stress. Today, I phoned the local MP office. I had my call unlawfully terminated, just like the calls to the local government, Ombudsman and the council. Calls are being unlawfully terminated. I don't even know if you should know this. I think you should know this. I've learned that I shouldn't be in a temporary accommodation. as a person with complex needs, I should not be. I should never. So I've been unlawfully put in these places in the first place. So, John, I am very worried about my possessions. I've been suicidal and very ill from all the stress and the trauma. And my lady witness friend, Juliet, I've spoken to her and I've let her know about my call. Someone rang the House of Commons on my behalf, and well, it's strange that she said the House of Commons, because she said the MP office when I phoned her, and she said that the police have been notified. So this is what happens when I mean, it is difficult when you're vulnerable, but I've been forced into these circumstances where they're not doing things to help me. So when I live stream something and complete strangers could be doing nasty things behind my back, I don't know. But the lady, I'm not being given any information, and David, the caseworker, was reluctant to tell my lady witness any information because of GDPR, but then they're not helping me. So this needs to be resolved. And I would like to know, John, what's going on, because I'm constantly being lied to and fobbed off. And it's just pushing me further into illness. I've had these crimes committed against me, and I won't keep repeating this, but I'm worried about my possessions in that room that I'm too scared to go back to, because, as you know, I've got a recording of a member of staff committing a hate crime by abusing me. It's domestic violence from staff and licensees, and I'm self-funding a hotel for my safety for half a year now. So, John, you know, I know you previously, I left a voice message, and you'd left me a message saying you've checked on my things and that they're safe, and I just need this all verified, because it would be good if you can, because I'm too scared to go back in there. I'm too scared to go back in there. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. Okay. Yeah, so no one's doing anything despite all the lies and fobbing off that continues with this corrupt.
Time off in 10 seconds.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the corrupt council for you. On top of Charles Lucas property management. Okay. But I please.
Your message has reached maximum length. Message deposited. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
I mean, of course I'm going to talk forever. Do they think that I enjoy this? Do they think I am screaming inside to get a life? I'm doing other people's jobs. I want to go for walks. I want to relax. I want to feel safe. I want to get into accommodation and feel safe. I could have killed myself today, but I haven't. Isn't it funny how Lucy only let us know further into the conversation? She didn't immediately say, "Oh yes, Bryony McCarthy, we've had someone ring on your behalf." No, she didn't say that immediately. But as I said, to be a good liar, you have to remember your lies, don't you? So anyway, I am now going to play the recording. It's 2 hours long. My conversation to the local government ombudsman. So please, Lucy is short for Lucifer. Lucy the liar. Well, Lucifer, what's Lucifer, eh? Lucifer is the father of all lies, isn't he? The deceiver, the angel of light. Bryony, I'm glad you didn't do that, and I have felt that some days, and that glad you're still here. Stay strong. Thank you very much. I am feeling a little bit anxious because I feel I need to. I don't feel comfortable phoning Tina right now. I just find it strange that she hasn't got back to me, and Dan didn't get back to me. I know he'd been asleep and everything. So it's you know, this is what it does. It creates they create these anxieties. So I'm just going to play this local government ombudsman phone call to Rob Morris as my this is my evidence. It's 2 hours long though, so you don't have to.
Thank you for calling the local government and social care ombudsman. We look at individual complaints about councils, all adult social care providers, including care homes and home care agencies, and some other organisations providing local public services. If your complaint is about something other than these, we will not be able to help you. The best and quickest way to make a new complaint to us is to visit our website at www.lgo.org.uk. There you'll be able to check whether your complaint is one we can consider, and you'll be able to submit your complaint at a time to suit you using our online form. Please be aware that even if you speak to an advisor, we will usually ask you to complete the online form. If you already have an existing complaint with us and a named contact, please contact them directly. If you have an urgent or emergency issue, please contact your local authority or care provider, as they are best placed to help you. We usually expect you to have completed their complaints process before we can consider your complaint, and we expect them to respond appropriately to any complaints they receive. If you still wish to speak to an advisor before we connect you, please note our staff are here to help as best they can, but we will not tolerate verbal abuse or threatening behaviour. All may be recorded for training and monitoring purposes. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Sorry, I just, excuse me. Sorry, I just put gum in my mouth. Sorry. Sorry, I do have a reference number. Shall I give it to you? If
Please, yeah.
Yeah, it's 21 018 455.
Can I just take your name?
Yes, please. It's Bryony McCarthy.
Open the case.
Okay, thank you.
What can we do for you? Oh, hold on.
1 8.
Okay, I'll see what I'm doing. 018455. Got 2 zeros in.
Oh.
So it's just get it. When you put too many digits in, it's system just trying to think what's going on. Rather than yeah, I've got enough. What can we do for you?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I received a letter dated. It goes. All correspondence goes to my partner's address. And it took a
Yeah, we're a little confused as to what your complaint is about.
well.
It's not really clear what you're complaining about.
Well, that doesn't really make sense, really, because I've actually recorded my conversation. I've actually recorded my conversation with the call handler from the local government ombudsman. I was initially hung up on, which is illegal. They're not allowed to do that. And I talked
at quite great length. And I did as she asked.
Any conversation that you've had with us would have just been a conversation. And we obviously would have told you, right, you need to send in your correspondence or explain. But the actual communication that you sent to us, it doesn't really, it's difficult for us to understand what you're complaining about, because you're covering off all sorts of things. Landlords, licensee, property managers, contractors, nursing staff, patients, ward manageress, adult social care workers, newspaper. What exactly is your issue with the council?
Right. Well, I actually what happened was I forwarded them a copy, which, as they requested, and I have proof that I sent this to the CFO. Because under common law, the CFO, as I explained to the call handler, the CFO under common law is responsible for keeping me in a safe place. But the Chief Financial Officer, that's the 151 officer at Eastbourne Borough Council.
And what has he or she got to do with keeping you in a safe environment?
Because that's under common law. That is the person that you complain to, that is personally responsible under common law, which is why I have written. It's official. It's in red ink. It's in it's a notice with my to prove that I'm the living woman and not the legal fiction. But I've recorded my phone call to the lady I spoke to from the local government ombudsman. I was initially hung up on, and I'm keeping that as evidence, because they're not allowed to hang up on you by law. Call handlers.
It's not against the law to hang up on people.
Well, actually, it is now that I've found someone who's given me this information that no, they're not allowed to do that, and I shall be telling this lady.
Legal advice on that, because I have to be quite. I have to tell you straightforward, and if you're recording this, I've got no issue with that. But this is not against the law for us to end the conversation on you at all.
Well,
that is incorrect.
Well, actually, this is a woman.
Why are you contacting the finance officer?
Right. Well, let me explain first of all. The lady that I've spoken to, she's had 40 years of experience working in law. Now, I've had people from the council hang up on me. I'm also legally allowed to live stream on YouTube if I want. I can record anything that I want if it's for my own purpose.
I think that the actually related regulations, I think the law would have something to say about that. If we didn't agree to you using, if I didn't agree to you using my information, processing my information, against.
Well, I'm not processing your information, but
I'm telling you my details. If I tell you who I am, that is processing my information.
Yeah. No. Well, anyway, we're getting slightly off topic here, because Yes, because I explained in the phone call to this lady, the second lady who didn't hang up on me, because I'm using all of this as evidence for as part of all of this. I mean, I'm just astounded at what you've just said to me, that you're allowed to hang up on me. I mean, if I was being abusive or whatever, you're allowed to record your end. I'm recording from my end, down my end. Now, I explained to the second lady that it's all documented. I explained to her that how I'd been a victim of the corruption. I went into quite a bit of detail.
I was never given a reference number, I might add, and it's all recorded and documented. And I
don't need to give you a reference number. You know, we don't have to do that.
Okay.
We've got one now because we set up the case for you because you sent communication to us, but we don't just create reference numbers over the telephone.
Well,
That's our policy.
Can I just explain that also? They said that I did not provide a telephone number. They never asked me for a phone number. So that's why this is what the letter here is stating. I never gave a telephone number.
So basically, we've asked you to send the complaint correspondence in. We've assumed that it would make sense to us, but it hasn't, and therefore we need to clarify what
No.
Because what service you complaining about? Because without you clearly define a service that you're complaining about, so we can determine jurisdiction. Because if you're complaining, for example, that about all of these things, and it all relates to the council's role as your landlord, you come through to the wrong Ombudsman service. The law will not allow us to.
No, I have. Yes. Well, I explained all of this in the phone call. I went into great detail about how I'd been. Well, because she said that they didn't seem too interested in hearing what I had to say. So this is all. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I explained to her everything that I had been through over the past. I'd also like to explain that the council have illegally put me in temporary accommodations because as a person who has complex issues should not be put in a temporary accommodation. And this is another reason why this lady, whose name I won't mention, but she is, as I said, she's got 40 years of experience, and she's given me this information that is not generally given.
Can I just say, I'm not going to dispute anything about that lady, anything about what you're saying. You don't have to go through that. I just really, really need to understand a little bit about what your complaint about council is. Please just focus on that. That's really what I need to identify right here, right now. Please.
Yes, right. Well, I explained several things. The main thing that's really, really urgent, like right now urgent, is I have been self-funding a hotel for the past 6 months for my personal safety. The police and the council have been complicit in my failings. I have been the victim in my temporary accommodation where I'm a licensee, which I should not be.
Sorry, what do you mean by that? Accommodation.
Yes, and I explained in great detail, and it's all recorded. I explained that I had my bedroom window smashed, I've been assaulted, I've been attacked, I've had vandalism, all these things that I've explained in the note.
Temporary accommodation by the council.
Yes, and I.
You were under threat. You're at risk of violence and harm.
Yes, everything.
So due to them not safeguarding you in that.
Yeah, the police, everything. I've recorded neighbours. I've got a witness who can provide an affidavit of truth. Public order offences, you name it.
Could you just give me a little? Could you just sort of list off some of the issues that you had in that temporary accommodation?
Well, that's what I've just explained to you. You've asked me.
You've got to understand that we're having a conversation. I want to try and get everything. I'm trying to type things down.
Yeah.
So
yes. Okay.
I think it's difficult to have a conversation and capture everything as you're saying it. So I want to get it, the correct information. So you explain to me exactly what's happened to you in temporary accommodation whilst I'm now trying to list it.
Well, as I've just said, and I'll say again, and I will elaborate, I've been assaulted, I've physically, verbally, vandalism, theft, I've been attacked, I've endlessly made complaints to the council, along with the neighbours next door to me, who's also made complaints. There was a woman up the road who took me in overnight one time. The place has got a terrible reputation. How I've survived all of this is just an absolute miracle. And I won't go into the graphic details of how this has affected me and the neighbours. So as I said, I've had my. I also. Sorry to interrupt you. I also had my bedroom window smashed, and I've documented all of this on my YouTube account, which I can legally do by law. I can do that. I've been.
Did you say that was it mainly one family, one household that was causing this violence towards you?
No, this is shared temporary accommodation, and this is not the first time This is not the first time that this has happened, and I've explained this in my
Was it like a house of multiple occupation? So
Yes.
a standard house, you were just given a room with random strangers
Yes.
in similar situations, and
Yes.
talk about having complex sort of. Have you got like complex sort of needs?
Yes.
Like by way of disability, like cognitive or mental health or something like that. Just so I can understand.
Yes.
Vulnerable adult, are you?
Yes, that's right. And I also recorded on YouTube police turning up, blood left on my room door whilst I was being attacked, and the police did nothing. I mean, I even had a live witness in the US say, "Crumbs, I thought our cops were bad. They didn't do anything." No, because I have been a victim of the police corruption as well, which is something else that I need help with. I've had so many crimes committed against me, my human and civil rights, and I've been fighting and fighting, but I've been targeted as a vulnerable person who has no one to help them. I recorded as evidence a woman threatening to beat me senseless. When I rang 999, I was arrested. I was arrested several times unlawfully. I've been trying to get help with that. Also, I just need to sort of take a deep breath here. I also recorded, because I'm not well right now as it is. I also recorded, and I asked them if they minded. Not that I need to ask them if it's all right. I had a social worker visit the property along with her colleague. I recorded that, and they offered me a 1-bedroom flat, and nothing ever came from that. And since then, I've been harassed and tortured by, and also I've recorded staff abusing me. I recorded a hate crime by one of the A&A contractors, which I've been, because of my state of deteriorating health, I've been so suicidal that yesterday alone, I mean, the police seem to be targeting me rather than actually helping me. So that is why I've turned to this woman who works independently. She's retired, and she helps people like me who are victims of the system.
I'm glad you finally got a little bit of support from at least someone, even though it isn't necessarily the equivalent services that you're trying to get out. But someone in your corner, trying to help you.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a real eye-opener, because I tell you what, even if these individuals who think they have the right to hang up on me, and they don't, I am sickened, and I can now see why so many people take their own lives, because we've got a world-famous suicide spot here, and I've got plenty of horror stories of being a victim of the corruption in this town, and the Herald paper that I could sue for libel. As a vulnerable woman, I'm known to the services. I've been in supported accommodation when my mother died. I was forced to sign a homeless application form about a week before she died. And then 3 days later, I signed her death certificate at the town hall. And I've got the local MP involved. I've recorded him on YouTube. He's happy, the caseworker for Caroline Ansell MP. He's happy that I recorded him. He's okay with that. On YouTube, I've got people who are in vulnerable circumstances themselves who have supported me. Now, this CFO notice, I was advised by someone independently to do that.
Can I just ask, sorry, just to, because obviously when you're talking, because I know what we deal with and the sorts of information that I need to know, it might seem rude, but I'll need to interject just so I can clarify certain things. That's going to be really helpful for us. Because obviously you won't know all the ins and outs of what we need to know. That's for me to ask. But can I just clarify one thing? Was you living with your mother and that's how you become homeless? She passed away.
No, my late mother sold the house, and I'd stopped doing care work. My mental health deteriorated. I went straight into a foyer, which is for 16 to 25-year-olds. And then, yeah, well, I don't mind telling you now. I turned 40 3 weeks ago. I can't believe it.
Okay, well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's meant to start at 40, isn't it? Let's hope things get better for you.
Well, yeah, as the phrase goes. But I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I have been, and I know this. You know, I've got to be careful what I say because I know about procedure and all of that. I had the police come round here yesterday, and I didn't want to see them, but because of what happened when I rang 999 to say that, and I've got the recordings of one of these licensees who threatened to beat me senseless, a raging alcoholic, and I've been, because of the police, I'm suicidal because of what they've done to me. So I didn't want to see them. I was shaken up just by them turning up. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm that. I have to record everything now. The only reason why I set up my YouTube account was the hotel that I was in when I first set up my YouTube account to document everything. The local MP, Caroline Ansell, she had emailed me. You couldn't make up any of the rubbish that I've been through. It's so shocking yet not surprising. She had emailed the so-called local services in the area. Same old. And then about 10 days later, I'd been for hours on the phone to the local government ombudsman. This was on the Wednesday, the 21st of October 2020, and they say they've got no record of this, which is a lie, because I did, and it's a shame I didn't.
When was it, sorry?
On Wednesday, the 21st of October 2020, I had been on the phone to a social worker and then the local government ombudsman.
Can I just say we only retain calls for 30 days, just so that you know that. So
well,
we wouldn't have that information to hand.
Well, they never did anything anyway. They never. Can I just finish? What I'm about to say is extremely serious. It's extremely serious. I mean, I'm saying this if it's the last thing I ever do. I mean it. I've had enough of all of this. I had been, as I said, on Wednesday, the 21st of October 2020, about 10 days after Caroline Ansell MP emailed me, because I have the email, I had been on the phone to a social worker called Marina, who no longer works for the so-called services, then the local government ombudsman, and that very day, the hotel manageress she'd started off nice, and then she started bullying me, and she didn't want me there, and I couldn't understand why. This seems to be there is a lot of corruption in this town. I mean, people.
Hotel manager, is that where you yourself
yes, for my safety, because I had been in another dangerous temporary accommodation where there were all kinds of unpleasant individuals with drunks, anti-social, violent people. There were all kinds of things, drugs, even a mother and baby and a child, and I could. I've been spending back pay of severe disability, back pay on hotel rooms, which I should not have to do, and I shouldn't have been put in temporary accommodation in the first place. This is where all the corruption is, all the crimes that are being committed, and there's me as a vulnerable person. So what happened that very day, after I had been for hours speaking or exhausting myself to people, obnoxious call handlers who don't do anything, I then went down to reception, and because they'd had homeless people being sent there from Hastings, the local Herald paper, well, I don't want to open up too many cans of worms because there's too much that's happened. But basically, she said to me, we're not a hospital, Bryony. We don't want you here. And she was very rude and unpleasant, even though I had been self-funding. I think I'd been there for 2 months. So I was a loyal guest. And then suddenly this hotel guest threatened me and said, if you don't get out of here, I'll come in and get your stuff in front of the manageress. I got straight on the phone to the police. The police then started hanging up on me, which they're not allowed to do. I've since recorded 101 call handlers hanging up on me. There's so much that has happened. Then I go up to Beachy Head in a distressed and suicidal state, and the police turn up, and I didn't want to speak to them because obviously they'd terminated my calls. And then I said, you're causing me alarm and distress and I don't want to speak to you. That's when they started saying the Beachy Head pub had asked me to sit down and they would serve me. I've still got that Beachy Head pub menu somewhere from that very night, and I never did get a drink. I was absolutely exhausted, feeling how I'm feeling now. They came in, grabbed me, took me outside. I then started calling out to the Beachy Head chaplains for Steve and Lynn, who no longer work there. The police started mocking me and saying they're not there. They threw me against the police car. I was beaten. They took me. This was meant to be a welfare check. This is where I can sue the Herald for libel, because it was my next door neighbour from the property I'm keeping away from, the council accommodation that I am staying away from for my safety. The neighbours said I'd been mentioned in the paper, and he said to the police that the licensees were bullying me. The place is dangerous and has a terrible reputation. Charles Lucas Property Management, they don't listen to me or the neighbours. I've recorded the staff bullying me, everything, absolutely everything. The council have targeted me. I wrote letters for the next door neighbour, Jackie, who has told me she sent so many.
Obviously, you're drowning in it, aren't you?
Yes.
There's just so much.
Yes.
It's overwhelming for you. And I mean, you're not talking about it, let alone living it.
Yes.
Can I just keep you? What I'm going to do, I just want to sort of focus on the areas that I feel are within our remit, because obviously it's important for us to know background and how very other services that you've been involved in have affected your well-being when leading you suicidal.
Yes.
But I just need to know more about council, really. So let me get this right so far. Correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, you've been put into shared temporary accommodation where the sorts of things you've outlined, very, very serious. That you suffered
Yes. Yes. Yeah. The money's. I had about. Well, initially I had I think about £12,000. Now it's gone down to about £1,000. Now, I'd like to just also add, I have spent thousands of pounds on hotels because in the last few years, for whatever reason, I have had evidence. I showed the council evidence of bed bugs crawling on me. Every time I showed them or complained to them about anything, we're talking about not just breaking rules, we're talking about public order offences where people's lives have been put in danger. And legally, by law, I should never have been put in there. I was also told by Dan Saxby at Brighton Housing Trust a few years ago that I could go to the local government ombudsman for compensation because a lot of people like me were being unlawfully detained at the custody, in the custody. In custody at the custody centre, where I've been so many times, I've been dragged around in handcuffs. You would not believe it. The last 6 years, due to being so vulnerable and a victim of the corruption. I have never committed a crime in my life. I never got the help. I'm 40. I've been trying to get help with my mental health for 26 years. I've got a little newspaper article about it. I do care work myself, and I tell you what, the abuse I've had from Sussex Partnership and Sussex Police, and I've added to the poor reviews, and I see that bullying even goes on in admin. I've seen everything. I've still got the 2 mobile numbers of a panorama producer, 2 panorama producers, Yasmin Yehudi and someone else, and that was just about Sussex Partnership alone. It's been an eye-opener. They've tried to shut me down as much as possible. So I tell you what, anyone who doesn't like me recording them, which is my right to do, it says, if they hang up on me, it says more about the individual, because I have every right. If I want to put it on YouTube, I can, and I have, and I've got supporters, and I am blowing the whistle if it's the last thing that I do on this earth, because I have never known anything like it in my life. I had faith in a system that might just give me a bit of support. And then my mother was dying of cancer, and a social worker landlord who was just in it for his pension, like all these others, actually what he said to me sounded almost threatening. He said, I knew too much. I might want to check I haven't inherited cancer. He had his own problems, and other people were saying it's just a profit-making business. You die tomorrow, they replace you with someone else. And now I've been in these awful places, and this woman, either a prayer has been answered or it hasn't. She's had 40 years of experience, and she's not local, but I'm just hoping and praying that something's going to come of it, because she gave me information that I didn't know, and she was.
Okay, so before I forget, can I just take it on the phone? All right.
Yeah, sure. It's 079.
Also, one other thing. The address that you're given, is that a care home address or?
That's my partner's address. I'm
the best address to send communication to for you. You prefer that rather than email, would you?
Yes, please. This is very difficult for me to say, but I have to say it now, because this is part of just part. I'd say I can't say what is mostly making me feel suicidal when you're on your own and you're dealing with all of it. I had a domestic with my partner. I've been forced to disclose private things on YouTube because I'm that vulnerable. I'm at my wit's end with the corrupt system. But that is what led me to call the police and the reception, and then but it was only because I didn't know what else to do. But of course the police are the last people that I want to see, because as someone on YouTube who exposes the police, things that, let's just say, things that the mainstream media do not. You know, these people, you know, what would someone like me do without them? Because even with them, I'm hanging on by a tiny thread right now. I'm just really, you know, saying it in the best possible way that I can.
No, I appreciate what you're trying to put.
I mean, let me tell you this. Sorry to interrupt. I had someone from adult social care, out of hours, a duty officer, come to this hotel. One of the reviews for this hotel was homeless hotel. It's a Britannia hotel, by the way. I mean, there was someone in reception at Christmas time who they'd come out of prison, and it was like being at the accommodation that I'm staying away from for my safety. She started throwing Christmas decorations at me and another man. I could tell you a lot about Eastbourne. It's you when you've been here for some time, some years, you see a lot, you hear a lot, and when you experience it, and anyway. But this girl who did that, the staff here didn't want to know. This is a Britannia, well-known Britannia hotel. I went down to Brighton Housing Trust. And the lady who's supposed to be helping me, she wasn't going to help me because of what I put on YouTube. She looked tearful, she was mousy, she's under the thumb. But Dan Saxby, who told me to go to the local government ombudsman for compensation, he wouldn't even look at me. They're so fake. He said he was helping the very girl who had come out of prison. So this is just it. I've had to report to the legal ombudsman, a social worker, who during my welfare check on Beachy Head said that I acted in self-defence when they were twisting the handcuffs. They've beaten me and bruised me so many times that they forced me to dig my nails in to get them off me. And she said to me, I acted in self-defence. But she wanted me to plead guilty as a woman who's never committed a crime in her entire life, who's a victim of the police and their illegal activity, and they're the ones who've made me suicidal. And she said to me, this is someone I've reported to the legal ombudsman, that to try and get me a probation officer to help me with housing. That is what they are doing to people in temporary accommodation, people like me who don't deserve it. I said, I will not, I will die an honest person. I will die suffering. I will not plead guilty to what they did to me to get help with what I should have anyway, which is help with housing. I'm not playing a system that has played me and put me in dangerous circumstances. And I will say this again. The CFO is personally responsible under common law, and everything that I put is what I wanted to put as a living woman. Bryony McCarthy, the living woman. Sorry.
It's okay. No,
I got a bit passionate, angry.
Yeah. No, you're the one living it. You're the one living it. So, I mean...
Thank you.
I appreciate as well that you've got, like you said, people come down on your seat. I mean, I get an opportunity about it, just to be honest. So, I can only imagine that it starts to come out and,
It's just, I just get the same thing every single time. I've been hung up on, I don't know how many times. I've been unlawfully arrested. I don't know how many times in total, but I haven't been able to address everything all at once, because whilst this unlawful activity has gone on, whilst I've been in this state of deterioration, pardon me, sorry about that, I've been forced to sleep rough. What for complaining about bed bugs crawling on me? Yes. But yes, they I'm sorry to raise my voice. They illegally discharged sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting a bit, obviously, passionate.
You're very apologetic, aren't you?
I do apologise a lot as a default. It's a sort of thing that I do. But I was forced to sleep. Well, they illegally discharged interim duty to me, and in one of the accommodations they typed up, and I'm sure I've got a copy of it here, the notice. They typed up fraudulent section 184s when I was in one of the places, and this Filipino lady showed me the sores on her body, said it was bed bugs. I didn't know bed bugs could do that, and there were also, I think I had a dust mite. There was a lot of dust in my room, but not just that, there were leaks. The place was a dilapidated building that needed a lot of repair, and I phoned.
Sorry, I just need to know this. I'm sorry for interjecting. Well, how many temporary accommodations have you got into?
They kept moving me. I was moved from the Saffron to the what was it? I can't remember the name of that. A hotel. Yes.
And you contacted the council to explain the unsuitability. You have given them that information.
Every time. And let me tell you something. This is very important. A housing officer named John Tutty, who typed up a fraudulent section 184, and I say fraudulent because at 44 Cavendish Place, this place, as I said, a Filipino couple. I complained on their behalf as well. Beth and Dexter, they showed me the sores on their body. I tried the law firm that she suggested, but they were full. There's so many of them are full to capacity. Now, while I was on I rang this John Tutty, who now works in Sainsbury's. It doesn't surprise me. This housing officer, I'm not. I promise you. I honestly, I only put a little bit of pressure on the kitchen tap, and the thing flew off on this particular occasion. I had to put a little bit of pressure because it wasn't working properly. It started flooding the kitchen. I got on the phone to him. He said, "Bryony, he knew I had anxiety." He said, "Don't worry, I've got you on the phone now. I've got a place I can offer you, and I can't remember the name of the place. It sounded like something Cherry Tree. Something Tree Gardens. It's a nice." And I was like, "Well, what about?" I was saying, "What about the don't worry." I said, "The kitchen's flooding. Don't worry." Do you know what he did? I also complained about the flexi wire on the what you call it, the shower hose thing, little things like that. I'd say, and they also weren't. It was snowing in February 2018, and the heating wasn't working properly. So I complained. Beth was told to put a cardigan on in bed. There was some man who was taking drugs, leaving his funny stuff on the table, this funny stuff that he smoked. And he was so disgusting. He'd leave everything like you've never seen anything in a state before. He had such disgusting habits that, without being too graphic, he caused Beth to get a UTI, urinary tract infection. Yeah. This is how disgusting people are. Well,
We're in 2020.
Yes.
So how long have you been in temporary?
Exactly. There's something not right. Sorry to raise my voice. I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
You're not. How long approximately have you been in temporary accommodation?
Past since 2016. No, I think at the end of 2016. Now, I keep saying to my partner, "Are you behind this? Are you?" Because there are things that have happened which I won't go into. But can I just add something else just before I forget about the kitchen tap? Because there's something really not right about any of this. Obviously, the plumber said to me he confirmed that the washer on the tap they're gone. He said, don't worry, with these old places, this is what happens. So that John Tutty who said, we have a place for you because I needed support, this is how evil and sick these people are. They are playing with vulnerable people, and the whole mental health thing is just, I wouldn't go to these people if I was deluded. I wouldn't go to them for help. That is how sick. And well, anyway, that's another story. What happened in the psychiatric unit? There are a lot of homeless people in there.
So many services. We can only focus on the council. Right?
Yeah.
But can I just get one more thing that I think is really, really important for us? Could you just explain to me the list of your vulnerabilities? So any it'll help be it physically or mentally, so we understand.
Yeah, right. Well, I this is really important that I explain this. I articulate. I've been you could not make it up. This is how. I tell you what, I can see now how some people, intelligent people, get dementia and heart disease and cancer. But when they're dealing with, I just cannot I will never, ever recover from this. I'll either go and kill myself, or I'll just be forever thinking, I can't believe that there are people paid to protect us who I've been bullied and assaulted by police, nursing staff, patients, licensing. Sorry, I'm getting off the.
Yeah, let's focus on what I really need. So if you could just so, because I want to be able to make sure that we're making any reasonable adjustments that we need to make due to any disability or health, anything like that. And also importantly, we need to know what your vulnerabilities are so that we can use that information and apply it to how the councils have dealt with you. It's really, really important for us to know. You can explain to me what those are.
Well, yes. Well, I do suffer with crippling anxiety, and since the death of my mother, the only people. I mean, obviously, when my partner. I've got to be honest about my partner. There have been domestic abuse issues. He took a caring role through Care for the Carers. And, for example, he was banned from visiting me in the psychiatric unit, yet only he was allowed in the council on my behalf. And this is something that I don't want to admit to, because I've been protecting him. It's like, well, you know how, I don't know how much you know about this sort of thing. Yeah, it's like you're protecting the person that loves you or so abuses you. But I've left a voice message.
You also see that there's good in him as well as as well as that darker side to him.
Now he's put his hand on he's promised me that he has not done anything wrong. However, it's not making any sense knowing that he can be emotionally abusive, and the fact that when he had a caring role, we would have an argument. He's got his issues, his mental health issues, and he would call the police in his flat over a silly argument, a silly disagreement, and they would arrest me. I never asked him to be a carer. Let's get this straight. He went to Care for the Carers because, voluntarily, because I wasn't getting the support. That's how we became more than just good friends. It was Caroline Ansell, the local MP, her office in 2016, one of her employees suggested a caring role because, and I will say, I've left a voice message for David, the caseworker at Caroline Ansell's office. Me and my lady witness friend, she was a passerby in the street. She witnessed my terrorism, well, for want of a better word, my council.
But that probably is a correct phrase to use. Terrorism isn't just what we, how we perceive it in the media, with extreme right wing or whatever.
No.
If you look at the definition of terrorism,
yes.
You
Yes, but the petty arguments that I have had with officials, you would not believe. You could not make up the stuff that I am telling you. I mean, I've been arrested whilst the police know what's been going on, and the neighbours have spoken on my behalf, and I've recorded that my lady witness is a visitor to the Riverbourne house, and I've recorded people at the Riverbourne house complaining about the very people that the police wouldn't do anything about, who were causing me to be suicidal because they were threatening me, they were attacking me, assaulting me. I had my bedroom window smashed. The neighbourhood policing team were meant to come out to me within 2 consecutive days, and they never did. I've never known anything. And I'll tell you another thing. I'm sorry, it's all coming out now. It's all coming out. It's all like it's been just one thing after another. It's like a form of human trafficking. The council and Sussex Partnership and Sussex Police have all worked together. I was self-funding the Citrus Hotel for 2 months because of what was happening at Elms Avenue temporary accommodation. And that was in October 2020. The police beat me, so they've illegally mentioned me in the Herald as me beating them, even though I've taken photographs of bruises and everything. I was beaten by nursing assistants, taken to Meadowfield Psychiatric Unit in Worthing. They come back to Eastbourne, and they all work together to put me in this place, this dangerous place. The staff at the Eastbourne Psychiatric Unit were the ones that I complained to these Panorama producers about, but because they've got so many other complaints around the country, they didn't want to, obviously they weren't able to take on my story. But I've met a lot of very interesting people with horrendous, absolutely, the things I've seen and the things I've heard. But what I need to tell you about Cavendish Place in 2018. So in Cavendish Place, the place where John Tutty typed up the fraudulent Section 184, I said, why did you do that? I told you about the leak. The plumber you said, don't worry about it, Brian. And he looked at me sheepishly and he said, because, what's her name? The landlady, what was the landlady's name? Oh, I've gone blank. What was her name? He said because no, I've forgotten her name. I've gone blank because so and so told me to. So Karen was the mother of that's it, Felicity. Because Felicity told me to. I said, oh, so Felicity tells you to jump off Beachy Head. Would you do that? The mother. They were so fake. They wouldn't put the heating on. They make so much money in these places. And I had spoken on behalf of the lady, Beth, the Filipino woman and her husband. They went to Eastbourne Borough Council with a bag of bed bugs, and she told me, quote, that they said to her, "We don't want them," and she said, "Well, I don't want them." She was on steroids because of bed bugs, because of the sores on her body. But I'm only saying what she said. I can't say if that's factual or not. I'm just repeating what she told me. But I spoke on her behalf because obviously I was disgusted. So I'm speaking up for other people. They know I've got no one. I'm an easy target. The locks were changed. I can't. It was all very distressing. They were illegally discharging duty. So I went up, excuse me, this was in February 2018. Why my partner has not been there for me. This is why I can't, I've got to be very careful what I say because I don't want to say the wrong thing and get something wrong here. But I kept asking him, are you behind this? Because there has been serious domestic abuse issues. I didn't want him to take a caring role, but I went up to Beachy Head with a duvet. It was snowing, and PC Scott Franklin Lester Senior turned up. They took me down to St Mary's house. This is the same he's known in the town as being a bully. Even the solicitor that I've reported to the legal ombudsman knows he's a bully. The manager of Poundland knows he's a bully. He bullies vulnerable people. He's the same police officer who unlawfully arrested me 3 hours after at 3 a.m. I recorded and phoned 999 to say, and I recorded this woman threatening to beat me senseless in the accommodation that I've been staying away from for my safety. I'm too scared to ring 999. I'm too scared to do anything because the police would arrest me for breaking wind. They're that stupid. They're that ignorant. They are. I don't want to open up too many cans of worms, but let me tell you. Yeah.
On the council, because I appreciate for you, it's just like I said, there's just so many different areas that have affected your life, but we can only focus on the council. Can I just go back to one thing that's really important? You said that you had Section 184 decision notice. Did that end their housing duty, or
yes.
Was that
Illegally.
First that, or have they looked at it again? Challenged it?
No. Well, they said they were giving me one last chance. Well, everything. I shouldn't even be in these places. I would also like to say that the local government ombudsman, you can look on the website, they amended the law, which states that in April 2018. Oh no, hang on a minute. Sorry, in September 2018, I think it. Yeah. Was it September 2018? The law was amended to say that even if a person intentionally makes themselves homeless, the council have a duty. Now, I've tried to help other people while I've been in these circumstances. I rang Stephen Lloyd MP on behalf of an old lady who was being abused in one of the hotels I was self-funding with my back disability pay. A cowboy hotel, and there's so much that has happened. I just, when you're just trying to, I can barely function. They'd say to me, the mental health services, St Mary's House, they'd say to me what I say, I can articulate myself. Oh, you're intelligent. And they'd use that against me. But I would also like to mention my middle sister has actually worked for South Down Housing, they are the people who are responsible for not having supported me when my mother was dying of cancer. I don't know whether my mother would be 84. I don't know whether her elderly friends are alive or not. But they asked me, are you getting the help? I said, I think because I was so young emotionally, I was in my 20s, but I'd never lived on my own before. I assumed that these people were there to help. They didn't even help me when I complained about harassment in supported accommodation, which is a breach of the licensing agreement. So this has gone on since I moved to Eastbourne in 2006, the start of 2006, and I have an acute hoarding problem. All these things are on the NHS website. Even everything that I've been saying about services being withdrawn from me. I was dragged into St Mary's House in handcuffs in April 2019. I wish I could. I don't know. This is just it. Off the top of my head, I can't count. But I am telling you what I've been told. I don't qualify for legal aid when I do. This is Brighton Housing Trust in Eastbourne, and I'm telling you, there's a man who works there called Dan Saxby who told me I could go to the local government ombudsman for compensation because a lot of people were being put into police cells as homeless unlawfully. Now, this is the same man who in 2018, during the heat wave, He went to the emergency out of hours temporary housing, and even the manager, I don't know his name or the person it was that he spoke to, but he said that they said, no, I'm sorry, we're not going to. He said, we've got a vulnerable woman here. And do you know what he said to me? He said, oh, I'm sorry, Bryony. At least it's... I went and slept rough on the edge of Beachy Head, suicidal. My partner, I didn't know whether my I still, because of my partner's emotional abuse, I don't know if he's gaslighting me. His parents haven't been in touch with me. I've had a horrible 40th birthday. Sorry, I don't mean to be. I don't want to be personal. Sorry, but it's just been. It's affected. Yeah. So yeah.
I think it's all coming to a head.
Yes.
You're carrying so much for so long.
Yes.
You know, and it's at that point you can bottle it up, but it's just
yes.
To the point where you just.
Yes, yes, I do.
Oh,
absolutely. I've behaved in ways unnatural to me, and to be dragged in handcuffs into a building that failed me, even long before my mother was dying of cancer. You know, I'd sit with the rudest people and I'd think something's not right here. I'm an extremely polite person, and it's because of that I've met criminals, people who've spent their lives stealing and committing crimes. The Saffron has a terrible reputation. Go onto the Facebook page, Survivors of the Saffron, or something like that. And I was in there, and it said that there was a petition to the Trestle Trust Food Bank, which I've got to be careful about the words I use, but they're deep states, the food bank, the Trestle Trust. And they would not listen to the plight of the people. Disabled people are being bullied at the Saffron. This is what I mean. The woman that I've mentioned to you, who's had 40 years of experience, she's got to be a prayer answered or something, because I have exhausted every avenue, and I've had people use the same triggering phrases. We're going round in circles. They've hung up on me. The most obnoxious call handlers. I have tried everything. The system has played me. And I'm someone who doesn't exactly feel good about being on benefit. I'm supposed to feel guilty. Well, I don't anymore, because, you know, what can I say?
No one should ever feel guilty about being on benefits. Benefits are there for those that need them, you know, and regardless, no one should ever, you know, even if your life is, none of these issues are happening to you with government bodies and whatnot. You know, if it's a normal life, you just haven't got a job, you shouldn't feel guilty about benefits anyway.
Thank
never
you.
Be an issue.
No, yeah, but with it, thank you.
When it comes back to, you know, it's almost like you're saying that it's like one thing you're getting out of them. You know,
yes.
Small victory.
Well, I sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, sorry. Yes, you were saying. Sorry.
No. I'm understanding a little bit about you. You know. There's a fact that you apologise before you say hello. You know,
oh, don't.
Like you feel that you're a burden. You know.
I know exactly. It's just, you know. But I've spent. If I hadn't have had those thousands of pounds, which you might as well burn for all it's worth, that I felt bad about receiving. Well, actually, I even stabbed myself with a 6-inch knife. My mental health has deteriorated that much that in 2018, with the odd money that I had here and there, because they had. It's like that they want me to go through the arm with a 6-inch knife in the Strand Hotel. It was December 2018, and this is after I'd been reported missing in the local Herald. I've been mentioned in the Herald twice. This is before I was mentioned as beating the police when they beat me. In the summer of that year, I'd gone AWOL from the psychiatric unit, and I've recorded a damning review where Councillor Robin Maxted had said the psychiatric unit can't release you with nowhere to go, and I've recorded them saying yes we can, and they did. So what I had already gone AWOL in the summer. The recording I've just told you about was in 2019. This is after I'd been dragged into St Mary's House in April of 2019, and 4 months later they released me with nowhere to go. That was because of that recording. But I've got trying to remember dates. But in June it was June.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not taking down all the individual dates and things like that. I'm trying to get a general gist of things, so we can obtain all the information we've got. The local authority we can obtain. So don't worry about dates.
Thank you.
Unless I'm specifically at here at the time of road. One thing, you've been sort of like self-funded hotel now for about 6 months, you say, approximately. You were in temporary accommodation where you assaulted, vandalism, theft, and you were physically and verbally attacked with no smash. Was that the last temporary accommodation?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And can I just add, sorry to interrupt you, I've got a lot of things in my room which I've been very worried about, even though I've recorded me speaking to John Bartlett, who works for Charles Lucas Property, and he's checked on my things and he said they're there. Now, I had a problem with one of the people. I don't know if it's a manager or if he's. I don't know exactly what Justin is, but he. So Charles Lucas Property Management they're corrupt themselves, because this Justin wouldn't listen to me or the neighbours when these things were happening. So I even got my lady witness to speak to John. But I mean, I'm that scared to even go back to the room myself. All my stuff is in there. I am scared to walk through the door. There was a notice. Can I add this? There's so much I could say. There was a notice that said that there was 24-hour CCTV operating, and there wasn't. And I kept on at them insisting, even when they installed it, when I was assaulted by 2 different lycees right in front of the camera, right outside my room, drunkenly. I was terrified. Police did nothing. The Charles Lucas Property Management said they couldn't find footage. Absolute lies. They are liars. I gave the date and the time. I recorded neighbours. They did nothing. But thanks to having a laptop, I'm a technophobe and I don't have an iPhone. But I've got a dictaphone and I've got a laptop. And I took my laptop outside. The last time I was attacked physically and verbally, and there was blood on my room door. It's on YouTube. So that is why I set up a YouTube account, because now I've got people who will witness it. I can document it, and I'm literally at the end now. This is it. I am too scared to go. As I said, a duty off.
Yes, sorry. Right, because I've got a lot of information. I'm trying to just sift through it in my head and sort it out.
Sorry.
Obviously you've been arrested multiple times. You've been, a safeguarding risk, things like that. It sort of starts stemming from being in temporary accommodation, or were there issues like this before then?
No, this is just it. This has only been in the last 6 years. And the reason why I keep asking if my partner is behind it is because, for one thing, and I hate to say this, he hasn't done anything to stand up for me. Why haven't his parents? Why haven't his parents said, "How are you?" And that they want. He said they want to see me. But now there's a man who works at the food bank who's got stuff of mine. They're the people who helped get me these benefits. Now, Steve Churchill has got my stuff, and he said to my partner that I was playing him. Now, I don't know why a man who's been so good, he told me to stay in my room. And I sometimes I'm not very forthcoming, because I'm sort of thinking, well, that's odd. Why has he said that to me? that I'm full of a lot of anger about this, and that's why my lady friend Juliet, I want her to come to, she's been to the police desk with me, she's disgusted. The last time I was tortured by the police, I was threatened by a demented magistrate's custody suite manager with prison on the 7th of October. I haven't had my clothes back. The IOPC haven't replied to me. I have had it up to everything and beyond. This has only been going on for the last 6 years. I've explained, when I went into the private rented, I did go into a private rented flat after supported accommodation. And for the whole, from 2000 and the beginning of 2010 to the end of 2016, I was suffering. I'd taken an overdose. I couldn't eat. Mental health services did nothing for me. I had support workers that weren't, they weren't signposting me. I said, you can see I've got a hoarding and clutter problem. I need help with this adult social care. I'd never had a laptop before. I didn't know how to manage money. I'd had attempted rape. I never got help with that. I went to Hove Crown Court and put someone on a sex offenders register. I'd already just come out of another abusive relationship. No one wanted to help me. But for all these years, I've been in a state of, I don't know how to explain it, but losing. Yes, my mother, losing my mother. Look, losing my mother, she was my soulmate. My sisters, the relationship with my sisters severely broke down. One of them's the one who actually worked for Southdown Housing Association, the people who failed me. She's actually had a sex change in recent years. So I know that's not relevant. That's personal. Sorry. It's obviously a shock. It's kind of a shock, but yet not surprising, because perhaps I'm being too personal. I know. Well, yeah, but can I just, sorry to raise my voice. You're listening to someone who's obviously not well and distressed, and that's why I'm speaking the way I'm speaking. But the thing is, now the way the mental health services talk to you now is, oh, that's okay, there's nothing wrong with it. But of course, how stupid can a person be to say to another individual, normalize something? I'm sure if someone said to them, oh, by the way, one of your family members has had a sex change. I mean,
it would throw you, wouldn't it? All of a sudden have become someone who's anti, LGBT or whatever.
I know.
Well, what's going on?
Exactly.
I'm supportive or whatever, I've got no issues with any of that. It's your own direct bloodline.
Exactly.
You just be like, well, yeah.
I mean, I don't have to agree with. I don't agree with it, and I would have supported her. But I still haven't had things come to me that should have come to me, because I've never had the support, and the accountancy firm dealing with my late mother's estate have let me down because things didn't come to me, and they've been lied to by adult social care who say I'm not engaging. I'm the one who's gone to, excuse me. Listen, you couldn't make this up. The council illegally discharged duty to me, and then I'm dragged into St Mary's House in handcuffs. And when I put up a protest at this madness, I had a psychiatrist I'd never met before say that I suffer with psychosis because I was putting up a protest at what was being done to me illegally. They've messed with my medical records. They've said that I suffered with I'm bereaved, I'm distressed, and all that, and I just needed help. And what they've gone and done is they put that I might suffer with psychosis, and they can only help me if I take injections. And then they've changed it to she doesn't have a mental illness, she doesn't have a treatable condition. I mean, I know this happens to a lot of people. Oh, I know. It's enough to drive you insane. They're psychopaths.
You mentioned the word gaslighting before as well. You probably feel a little bit like that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So I think I've got enough for what I need right here, right now. Just so you understand what's going to happen. I'm sending this on to the next step in our process for consideration. The only things that we consider are complaints about the council. There's one area that we wouldn't be able to, and that's their decision to end their housing duty, because that's appealable by the county court. But there's a whole load of things here that I do feel can potentially fall within our remit. I think they're the main things that you've been calling about. The issues with since you trying to access homelessness services, all the various temporary accommodations been in, how your life has literally spiralled.
But you can't
put into these temporary accommodations, and how you've had to safeguard yourself, and what little savings you had have basically been used up by safeguarding yourself in hotels and whatnot. Obviously that can't.
Right. Well, can I just ask you this? They cannot illegally discharge duty to. I know you said what you said, but to a vulnerable woman. Now, when I rang
They can't.
well, can I just?
What I'm saying to you, we can't look at that decision because only the county court can.
Well,
County court, in law, county court are the ones that will make. If the council end their housing duty, county courts are the only ones that can overturn that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry. Well, yeah. Can I add to that I rang someone from Citizens Advice Bureau, because obviously I've tried everything. The same Mike that I spoke to from Citizens Advice in Hastings said to me, he said, and he'd said the same thing the last time before. He said, well, they have their issues. We're talking about individuals who, we're not talking about mental health. We're talking about individuals who are going out of their way, who clearly have capacity and know what they're doing, and they're going out of their way to attack me physically. I mean, it's just, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like something on another. They were pulling the cup. I had to put a chain around the cupboard doors. They were pulling cupboard doors off. It's like, I don't know if you've seen the Disney film Pinocchio when he goes to Pleasure Island. They're like demented degenerates who are doing the hell what they like. I found feces in the bin, human feces. I reported it as an environmental health hazard. And they were illegally arresting me, but protecting the criminals that the neighbours were complaining about. You couldn't make it up. You could not make it up. Honest to goodness, it has been very, very frightening. I actually find this very frightening. And if it wasn't for my lady witness, Juliet, I don't know what I'd do. I'm even feeling so scared right now because I haven't had a call back from the lady that I mentioned, because I don't want to put.
Their anxiety as well. I think that just feeds everything, doesn't it?
And this lady was she was a passerby in the street. If she'll excuse me for saying, she's been. I didn't really want to say this because I'm recording everything, but she's had cancer, and she told me this. She said, because I told her about my mother, and I thought, oh gosh. She said, I don't want to make you feel bad, and I thought, oh no, oh gosh, why is it that the lovely people have to be in this? And she was attacked in the street by random drunks for trying to help me. I don't even like Eastbourne anymore. I mean, I've lived down here most of my life, but it's like London by the sea. It's there are certain areas I wouldn't want the council to put me. I have been looking at flats.
online, but there are no-go areas, and they're the areas.
As a vulnerable adult, you know, you're going to need. It's going to be difficult, probably, for you to come across, you know, properties independently that might, you know, meet your budget, I suppose. You know, and that's the thing. Isn't it?
But I don't even feel safe going out now. I mean, Terminus Road is. I didn't realise it was one of the most dangerous roads in the country. It's all to do with drugs and whatnot. But it's not. It's really not as safe. I mean, I went into one of the shops. I had to go out, and I saw one of the individuals who had drunkenly assaulted me. I mean, there's human trafficking going on. This is why I believe I'm being targeted, because I'm kind of whistleblowing, because the police came round one time and they said, a 16-year-old boy has been reported missing from the London area. And I thought, why are they coming to an all-female place where we've got a woman in there who's, you know, so sometimes women have come out of refuges, can't say the word, a women's refuge, and they'll go into a place like this. But I was starting to feel a little bit safe there, and the people there seemed all right. But then I was suddenly attacked, and I live streamed it on YouTube. I was just randomly attacked by a girl that I thought was nice. And she left, as I said, she left blood on my door. I got the police to confirm it, but they did nothing. And someone in America saw this, and someone I don't know in my live chat. There was no one else there, because it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and the neighbours were woken up. And another thing, just hours earlier, I'd been on the phone to this Dr. Caro, who talks himself up on the doctor's on the Lighthouse Practice website as being interested in people's welfare and areas of people's life, you know. And he told me to stop going off on a tangent, which was very rude. And I said, look, I really need something to help me sleep. I said, you need to hear this. What's going on in my council accommodation? I never got out that night to get me something to help me sleep. I will end up with cancer. That social worker landlord was right. And he said to me, you know too much. I'll never forget him saying that, because to be honest with you, I wonder now if there's something more sinister behind that, because everything that's happened since then, because they didn't like me complaining about the fact that they weren't supporting me. And as I said, one of the licensees breached their agreement by harassing me. And my dying mother was angry about it. So I've been bullied at the local St Wilfrid's hospice by a care coordinator, this Ellen Williams, who said, "Oh, what are you doing? I've never even met this woman before. You were here years ago. You saw a counsellor. What are you doing?" Shooing me away from seeing nurses who nursed my dying mother. How dare she? There's a lot in this town that's it's all made to look really polished and squeaky clean on the outside. If you speak out, if you complain, the fakery, the stench of it, and this corrupt council. And I've tried, Stephen Lloyd. I've spoken on behalf of other people, and I just can't believe how cowardly people are. It's just, honest to goodness.
Just sort of like interject. Yeah. Right. I've got enough information. Okay, so I'm going to have to finish this call off. But I just want to clarify one thing, because you know, are you a risk to yourself right here, right now?
Oh no, you have to. They will ask that.
We're not safeguarding body. We can't safeguard third-party complaints handling body. And I just want to make sure, you know, because obviously I don't want to leave you in a state of.
No, no, it's okay. Look, I don't mean this rudely. I know you're doing your job. I'll tell you something. Civil legal advice. I was being messed around by them. I've spoken to managers on the phone who've tried to help me, and I was messed around. I was told that I could open up a can of worms there. I've been messed around by civil legal advice and the service providers, and I really should have recorded those conversations because it was just horrendous. And then so I got hung up on, and one time I was crying and feeling suicidal because they were messing me around, and yet they'd say the same thing as you. I've heard it all before anyway, but it's a safeguarding thing. I don't mean it rudely to you, but this is.
No, you know that I need to ask, and that's why I asked you in the way that I did.
No, I know.
I did not do behind your back, none of that. I'm just asking you directly. We've had a good conversation.
Yes.
Got a rapport. I'm asking you. Have you risked yourself right here, right now?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't mean this rudely. I can't actually say yes or no, because what I say to people is because I said 5 years ago, Caroline Ansell did not want to be. This is the local. My partner, the caring role. She still hasn't those, because that's what they are. No, can I just say? Last time. Record Ombudsman and social worker. Nothing. For 40 years, probably more than 40. And they deliberately use the Section 136 thing to abuse people like you. You know, 6 years ago, even if Caroline Ansell had, even if she had, that doesn't guarantee that I wouldn't still feel,
honest answer. How can someone say right here, unless you absolutely have it in your head that you are going to do something here, right now.
Thank you.
I almost feel like that's my job, and I feel it. I find it to be just a bit of a false question almost, welfare check on
Thank you. I've been having these thoughts, you emphasise. But I also know I'm slightly in hellfire position. The police can come in. They were threatening to come in my room last night. Oh, they can't do that. They always that's what they do. You can tell that you can. my phone. Well,
where they feel that they're like, look, I'm suffering, I'm struggling.
but they're not supposed to do that.
Get a welfare check.
It's this thing about kicking the door in and brutalising people. We actually have more rights that say no, we don't have to open the door. I said they heard my voice.
What I'm saying is that they can justify it by saying your welfare overrides all of that. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm trying to say is they are the perpetrators of this. You see what I mean? I've got evidence of the failings. You see what I mean? I'm sorry.
I'm in agreement in what you're trying to put across and about how you feel. So what I'm trying to say is that these welfare checks sometimes in certain situations, and this is what you're trying to put across to me, I believe, is that they are part of the ongoing problem. They just further those are the things that bring about. Those are the triggers that make you more suicidal,
yes,
that make you feel more abused and whatnot, and violate.
I'm too scared. Listen, I went to my lady witness secretly recorded the response of the police desk where I had gone on the 7th of October to say that I would be returning with my witness because they are failing to keep me safe. And what did they do? They arrested me again. The same police officers, the ones who beat me on Beachy Head, they've still got my clothes. They arrested me. And I have been down speaking to a PCSO. And then these vile creatures who are acting as supposedly civil servants or public servants were smirking. They went away, came back, because they know I've been blowing the whistle. They know I've been complaining, because that woman who went behind the desk, she said she'd seen me getting upset in the council because of all these things, their personal failings. They have perpetuated this. I don't care about what is. And the fact is, I do have rights to say to them, no, you are causing me alarm and distress. I've told you I'm all right. Please go away. That is my right. And they are taking away our human rights. They are taking, yeah. Yeah, and we are, people have died. People died for our freedom in this country. And our rights are being taken away left, right, and centre. These crimes are being committed. We've got human and civil rights, and mine have been infringed. They've been taken from me, and I mean, I'm shaking because I feel that scared. I feel that scared because of this corruption. They are not doing things right. So whoever it was, the individual the person whose name I won't mention, they're in a community of people fighting for our rights, so to speak. They advised me how to, under common law, from someone else who knows about common law, to put the CFO on notice, because I simply do not know. I've done everything humanly possible. I've even had PCSO say to me a few years ago, Bryony, most people would have given up a long time ago, and I'd be more angry than you. The latter is what David, the caseworker, said to me. You can see the tears in their eyes. You can see the distress. You'll know, just by looking in their eyes, you'll know that they have probably spoken to many other people in my position. So I'm literally, I've probably said more than I ever expected I would say, but because I'm in a fight or flight mode kind of thing.
Yeah, I as well. Yeah. Look, Brian, you've gone through some. And that's not me, I'm not saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we think this, we think that. But I just think human being to human being, you've gone through so much, and
Thank you.
You know, get the better of most of us. You know,
yes.
So you should feel empowered and strong.
I should do.
But,
thank you. I should do, but the thing is, you know, I'm someone who, you know, who is vulnerable, and it took me years to build up confidence, but that's been chipped away at. That's been the reason why I'm suicidal, you know, every now and again, is yes, I might have a problem with my partner who, and I don't want to say too much about that because it's obviously, you know, I've been forced to be so personal, but it's the police. The police have done so much damage to me. So
I think I asked you the question directly, and I said, has this all been happening since you've ended up in this sort of like homelessness position?
yes,
So it's all sort of steps. But since you really had to engage with services because you
yes,
help desperately, you know, that's that's emerging from what you've told me, you know, and it's mad, isn't it? That I just think you haven't ever become homeless. You might, your life might be completely, you know,
yes.
complete what it is now, complete opposite.
Well, I have wondered that. I mean, yes, I haven't been well in my mind, but for all the years that I was struggling.
Police involvement, all this stuff, and all everything, you know, you've obviously said. How many people do loads? You know, loads of people have issues.
I defended. Sorry. Yeah, yes. I defended myself for the first time ever. I defended myself with they dragged me backwards in handcuffs, laughing through Hyde Gardens, and reported in the local Herald in summer of 2018 that I'd been found safe and well. Utter lies. I'd gone AWOL from the psychiatric. I was bruised when I was taken back there. I was beaten and bruised by police and the psychopaths that work in the psychiatric unit. And they're the ones who are paid to protect me. They're the ones, Sussex Partnership and Sussex Police, these individuals, because it's down to individuals, who have made me more suicidal. So my partner could be abusing me, but they're the ones who are paid to support and protect me. And now I don't want to see them. But I'm in a kind of Stockholm syndrome where I just don't know what else to do.
Well, what else can you do? You know, there's nothing, you know, this is the thing, you know, you're just completely broken down with the services that are there to safeguard you, and of course it's going to push you into maybe the arms of your partner or
yes,
you know,
exactly.
You know, yeah, I mean, and that's when you're a vulnerable person, I mean, you know, yeah, you could end up in anybody, you know, you're more malleable. You know, you're easily coerced by an individual, you know, just so, you know,
yes.
You just don't know. And you know, and then you're going in your head, and they, you know, why they're being nice or what's going on, you know, just questioning everything. And
exactly. I am spiraling, and it is hard for me. Of course I can't. I mean, there are people, I mean, one or two people are online, because obviously when the world on YouTube is watching, but I've been forced to do this. I didn't want to make up a YouTube account to do all this stuff, but I feel, what else can I do? I'm thinking to myself, Bryony, you've done everything you can do. This is what you've got to do, document it. But there'll be someone who'll say, oh, I'm vulnerable, I'm in a wheelchair or whatever. And you think, oh, I've got to be careful. I'll you know, but even they, I mean, I've got to be careful what I say, but someone has lied to me, let's just say, and then recorded me, taking a snippet of me getting angry about it to make me look bad.
Yeah, well, you see, we see it day out in the press, don't we? You know, just like things out of context.
Yes.
You know, you just take a snippet of the conversation, and then they're like, if you actually listen to the whole context of the conversation,
exactly.
It's completely different. Okay, right, I'm going to have to do this. It's been about an hour and 40
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Can I just say, I appreciate your honesty as well. I have to just record all of this, just for my own. You know, it's never ever to get anyone into trouble. It's, you know, and you know those. Can I just say, it's just purely for that. And what makes me angry is, you know, just like these police officers and whatnot, if they've got nothing to hide, why would they hang up on you? You know, the people at the council, we don't want you recorded. Well, you're not doing your job, so what have you got to hide? And actually, legally, I have a right to do that. So I just wanted to say that's. I don't have to say that to you, but because you've been, you know, exactly. You're recording me, so I'm gonna have to record you because of what has been done to me. So I just wanted to, you know.
I see it all the time. I've never had an issue. Anything I say, I'll say it. You know.
Good. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you.
For you. It'll go to your boyfriend's house, obviously. It'll just talk about fine, but now considering the rate, legislating till here because again within 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm going to try and get
4 to 6 weeks. Oh.
Yeah, there's no. I'll be straight with you, Friday. There's no quick fix with our service, but because of your current situation, and then you're running out of money, you know, as well. You know, I'm thinking I should probably, I'm going to try and get it picked up quicker. So I'm going to do the best for you. I just can't promise anything. So I'm going to contact David in a moment just to see. But yeah, I mean, there's not much more I can say.
This is I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is what is so ridiculous because the last woman I spoke to from the recorded from the local government ombudsman, she said you have to wait up to 12 weeks for a response from the council, which I never got, and that's why they asked me to forward them a copy of the notice. So that's why the first thing you said to me was, I don't understand this notice that you've sent me. Well, that's what I've sent. That is the notice that I sent to them in December and never got. I've got a copy. I've got more than one copy. Oh no, sorry, I've got the original. I think the original. I send them. Got the original, and I've got evidence that I've got a receipt signed for recorded delivery to them and to the local government ombudsman that they've both received the copies of that. Now and now you're saying I have to, you know, do you see what I mean?
We are not an emergency service, so we're like I said to you a moment ago, we don't have any sort of safeguarding emergency powers. We are just a third party independent body that investigates claims. Investigations take time, considerable time. You know, so there's nothing further I can say on that. I have no power over the length of time it takes for us to deal with matters. What I can do is try and flag it sooner.
Yeah, thank you.
Something that we generally do. We generally do because everybody's complaint is important to them. But I am, you know, this army, I'm a little, you know, worried about his well-being. Not enough that I'm going to call services and start saying, oh, we're ready for her. But, you know, I just think you're a vulnerable lad. You know, you're in a position where you're saving somebody now, you know, as well.
Yes. All these crimes have been committed against me. Yeah. I'm too scared. I've been self-funding a hotel for half a year with severe disability premium back pay because I'm too scared to walk through the doors. I did walk in there with the lady. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't tell you we're going to pick it up quick sooner than others because it's not my decision.
Yeah.
I don't have that power. I have to tell you it's 4 to 6 weeks. That's what the letter says. But I'm going to be doing my level best to ensure that this is picked up sooner rather than later. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I've been pushing for it to be my decision. I can't just say, right, surgeons, no, I can't do that. I'm just, I can certainly make my position known on it, and try and call in,
No, I know what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, I'm going to be contacted, and investigators. Hopefully, see that he feels the court spoon around and makes. And I believe that will be the case, but I can't tell you that we are going to. That will say 4 to 6 weeks. I am going to do my best.
I really do appreciate. I just want you to know. I thank you. I really do appreciate it. I am someone who I respect procedure and all of that. I think I'm at that point of sort of I'm trying. I mean, I had David, the MP caseworker, and I can see the distress in his eyes. He said we get a lot of complaints about the places you're in, and he even said to me, I would be angry. Just like the PCSO that I spoke to said, I'd be more angry than you probably. It's like I'm gritting my teeth as well at the same time, because I'm constantly being fobbed off or lied to, and then they put on record that I'm not engaging. I have to say, when I look at people getting angry and you see those signs that say we won't be helping you, we won't tolerate this and that. Well, it's funny that, because I've tolerated so much abuse myself. I've been brought up, middle class, to be polite. And that's why I had a criminal say to me, quote, in the Saffron, this place that's had a petition that was ignored by the local council, about vulnerable people being picked on, me included, disabled people. And, he said to me, this was a criminal, a protected criminal, and I've got to be careful what I say. But let me just say, the doctors seem to be happy to help people like that. And he laughed. He said, it's you nice people who've been nice all your life, honest. You're the ones that end up basically stabbing someone to death. I know that's a not shocking thing to say.
I mean, it's not just on falling down or whatever, isn't it? You can only take so much.
Yes.
Like we got about the pressure cooker and that.
Exactly.
Yes. You know what? You'd never, in the eyes of the law, you'd never be accountable because you just have that mental health implosion.
Thank you.
I appreciate what you're trying to put across. And Brian, you have not at one point today been a difficult person or talked in a way that someone should finish a call on you.
Thank
you.
I
would say that your circumstances are so difficult to try to understand that someone's got to have a bit of time.
Thank you. You see, that's exactly what my partner says to me, and he'll say to me, Bryony, me and my dad had never seen me lose my temper outside the council. He'd never seen, he's a very quiet, timid person. It gets very volatile between us. But then that's why I'm so unwell in the head now. I think that he's behind it all, and he'll say, no, because he's lost it. With he's had to try, and his dad has said, you've got to keep calm, and it's just, I've never known anything like this in my life. I know the climate that we're living in, but I'm someone who complains about cycling on pavements and smoking in bus shelters, and yet I was terrified for my life. I've gone to the police desk to say I've got my lady witness to my council accommodation terrorism, and then I was put through 24 hours of non-stop torture by Sussex police, taken in a Serco truck to Brighton magistrates. I've never even received court papers, and I mean official legal court papers, over what they did to me on Beachy Head. And I was screamed and shouted at by a demented magistrate's custody suite manager, shouting, You've been offered the help. Make sure you don't shout at the judge or you'll go to prison. I was terrified. I had to block it out. I've never prayed so hard in my life. I've never been to prison. I was terrified. And they released me. I feel like I've been in hellfire. I just think, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, there we are. So, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. I know you said you have to go. I'm sorry.
I mean, you know, yeah. The one positive, the only way is up. Can't get any worse, can it? So, you know.
Well, that's what. Well, I hope not. Unless they were to actually send me to prison or on a fraud or something. I don't know. But that. Well, I know that this, yeah, but this is actually happening to people, but because I've been so frightened and alone, on the 29th of April, when I recorded that licensee threatening to beat me senseless, I phoned 999, and the investigating officer for her offences turned up, arrested me at 6 a.m. 3 hours later, sleep deprived, and I was taken confused before a magistrate's court, Brighton Magistrates Court, in my pyjamas and dressing gown and slippers. I was released onto the streets in my sleepwear. I just thought, what the hell is? I was like it's like something out of a nightmare. You couldn't make it up. I kept telling them I never received court papers. The CPS had thrown it out of the court, but I never received them because they went to the temporary accommodation that I had complained to Caroline Ansell and the local government ombudsman. So something is going on behind the scenes. There is, it's you know, this isn't just miscommunication and whatnot. I've just. They're so corrupt. The housing officer that I had, Robert Haig, who's another one who's left his job, his manageress, Katie Dawkins, at the council didn't want to speak to me. None of them were taking responsibility. And also, I haven't mentioned this councillor, Stephen Holt, whose face was on a leaflet, his cabinet for community. He wouldn't even listen to my witness friend. This is what we're talking about. No one is taking responsibility, but they use that phrase with me because they're a bunch of narcissists. Bryony, you need to take responsibility. They're narcissists, psychopaths, and I could get children to do the jobs. I mean, I've been running around like a headless chicken, and well, anyway, there we are. But I'm sorry. I know I've kept you for.
I'm gonna have to leave it there, though. And Bryony, I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much. Yes.
We'll review the next few days, and yeah, like I said, I'm going to do my level of best to get this book
Thank you. May I just ask? Can I just? I know you didn't want to give your name, but I would like to.
No, I didn't give my name. Yeah, I always introduce myself. Rob.
Oh, sure. Rob Morris. Okay, thank you. I really do appreciate that because I do actually need to chase up with the MP office because otherwise I'm going to start losing respect for this caseworker, and I'll tell him that I've made this call because I'm really trying very hard not to. Well, anyway, because I have been in a really bad way, and I'm now on the fight mode. So, anyway, thank you very much. I really appreciate.
You'll be on the letter as well, so you'll be on the letter. I'm sending as well, just so that you know. Yeah.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You take care of yourself.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Right. That's Rob Morris. Okay.
I'm really sorry to hear that, Bumblebee. You had a social worker trash your flat. Why did she do that? Trash your flat? A social worker? bed and settle down and relax till then. That's a good idea. Yeah, you need about half an hour for it to kick in. Why did a social worker trash your flat? That's terrible. Oh, dear me. Thank you, Bobby. How do you make a formal complaint against the MP? Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. He does sound like a nice man, but do you see what I mean? You can't hold your breath, because look what happened with David. David, who Lucy doesn't seem to know who David is, even though I said his name several times. And as you've heard, I spoke to him for hours. So Scott said, what a good man, because he did sound nice. But there's always someone who tries to block me being helped. Do you remember when I rang and got through to an MP case worker or a call handler, and she was very quick to end the call? And, this Lucy said, oh, we'll get back to you on your phone call, your voice messages. No one ever has. I've documented everything. Today, she's lied to me. She's terminated mine and Scott's call and threatened Scott. She's contacted the police over Scott's concern for me. So there you go, folks. Scott Andrew Horn. He's admitted tonight that he contacted the MP on the MP caseworker this morning before I rang in. And do you know what? I've never met Scott. I don't know what he looks like. But even if he was what she said, abusive, the fact is, she said he didn't say anything disparaging about me. The fact is, they're doing nothing. They've left me in dangerous circumstances. Now, I don't condone abusive behaviour, but she's abused me and she's hung up on me. So there we are. Yes, she was, absolutely. And they don't like me having supporters either. They're evil, but their time will come, as Scott said. Thank you, Bumblebee. Your social worker got a house clearance company. What? To move a medical bed to lounge and dumped everything in the bedroom. She used the key safe without permission. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Medical bed to the lounge. Medical bed to the lounge and dumped everything in the bedroom. I'm so sorry to hear that. How dare they? I've had I forgot to say I'm going to remember to tell him this, that I'm also paying for other people's clutter because of that evil Felicity from 44 Cavendish Place, where they had bed bugs and leaks. I've been in several places that have had leaks. I'm sick of all these, am I ever going to have a home? So if I'm not sleeping rough, I'm being put in I wasn't the only person who said I'd feel safer on the street because of how dangerous these places are. And, blood-stained sheets with bed bugs crawling on me. No thanks. You'd want to sleep rough as well. But I complained about it. I showed them photographs. And the housing officer, oh my gosh, what was his name? I can't remember. Black man. None of them can be trusted. I'm amending my, whatever he's put on paper. they are very sick and corrupt, but their time is coming. So those of us who've been suffering for so long, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It is draining and hard. Thank you, Bumblebee. I need to get my faith back, Bobby. Address your complaint to the Parliament. Oh, I need to write that down. Hang on, Bobby. I'll write that down. Thank you very much. Parliamentary. Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Parliamentary Commissioner for Standards. Well, this Josh Babarundi, OBE, Lib Dems, meant to take over from her on the 15th of March, 3 weeks ago. I filled out the form, so if anyone wants to do that for me, I'd appreciate it. He said he'd aim to get back with it. He aims to get back within 10 days. If it's, but this is an emergency, and he hasn't got back to me within 3 weeks. So I'm a bit suspicious because Josh doesn't seem to like Caroline Ansell because she thinks that elderly people should pay for their care because our MP is a Tory and she doesn't give a damn about people. Yeah. And he said she's in it for the Tories. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know about politics, but I'm just saying, you know what they say. Thank you. She took the code of medical notes. I've got. Oh, I'm sorry about this. My home was deemed too unsafe to live in. I was in hospital after care agency failed to keep their contract and neglected me big time. Need solicitor for H. Robbins neglect. Oh, I hope you get a solicitor. I'm sorry to hear that. Bryony, I wasn't abusive to Lucy. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Scott. I hope you don't think I was accusing you of being abusive. She was abusive to... Oh, I can believe it because I've been accused of being abusive. Oh, there isn't anything you couldn't make it up, the stuff. You know what I mean, though. I said what I meant was, even if you were abusive, I don't condone it, like swearing and stuff, because you'll lose them if you were to do that. But I said even if, for argument's sake, you had been or anyone had been, the fact is she's been abusive to me. She also has hung up on me. She doesn't care. And she's threatened that individual that has rang on my behalf, which is you. Well, she said she's rung the police. She said she's reported it to the police, which, who's she more concerned about? Her feelings. Listen to the end of that call. She says she's when she before hanging up, she says she's offended. Oh dear. Oh, poor her. But she hasn't once said, oh my gosh, that is terrible. Because if I heard someone saying what I've said, I would be fuming. I don't want to live in a world, let alone share a town where that's happening. Even if I was a millionaire and had a mansion, I don't want to in a town where this disgusting behaviour is going on. But I've had to live with it. In shared accommodation, I've been attacked assaulted. Oh, it makes my blood boil. Yeah. I believe you, Scott. You know how it is, though. You know, we've never met, and you know, I'm just for argument's sake, and I really appreciate what you've done. I really, really do. I really, really, I've got no one doing this. I've got no one. And she hung up on you for saying, are you people going to help Brittany sitting? I've been disrespectful. Lucy is a fallen sister standing with the devil. Yes, I know. Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott. I do appreciate it. As I said, obviously, you know, I have to be careful how I say things because, you know, we haven't met. And she said to me, oh, you know, there'll be anyone can watch this on YouTube. I know that because there are people who tried to mess things up for me. Well, I don't know. I mean, the woman from BHT, someone she said, I didn't say you could live stream. And I said, I told you I was live streaming my call. She said, I'm not happy for this to be out there. So she refused to help me, even though she's already refused to help me. That's Lorraine Blackwell from BHT. See what I mean? Yes, I do need some tea. I need to actually go and have a lie down. I haven't eaten either. Well, you know, I did eat something, but it wasn't, you know, that was a long time ago. Oh, yeah. Yes, Scott. You've just said exactly what me and my partner say. I knew that if anyone rang on my behalf, I could only imagine what you've just put. As soon as she heard my name, Bryony, she became vulgar and said, Bryony is known to all the services. Yeah, because they hate me. They don't want to help me. Known to. Yeah. 26 years trying to get bloody help. East Sussex. I've still got a note I wrote in my late teens or early 20s. I'm 40. And I was, honestly, the notes, you couldn't make it up. I was being messed around by doctors back then saying that I was going for physio. I've never had any physical problems in my life, all to do with mental health. The Tavistock Institute Committee of 300. This is programming, this is. I believe it is. But I mustn't go down that sort of dark thing because I've got to try and keep my sanity. If she was passive aggressive, that's a word I've used a lot. They don't like you using these words. If you sound anything like me, they're not going to like you and they're going to target you for helping me in the way they've targeted me. So, Scott, thank you for affirming me. And then said, your comment of them was disrespectful. The woman's a fallen fool. Yes, absolutely. Not all the women's a liar, a wrong one, and I felt that immediately as soon as I said your name. I don't lie, she hung up on me for questioning her aggressive mantra and her lies that I am disrespectful. The woman's vulgar, Bryony. As soon as I mentioned Bryony, it was a change in her manner, like huffing and puffing. Yeah, I've had them huff and puff at St Mary's house. This is what I was saying to that call handler earlier from the local government ombudsman, that they'd sit with clipboards and go, I've had a lot of people huffing and puffing. They don't like me. Why? Why? They don't want to help me, and I'm calling them out on it. They hate me. They're evil. Evil. I've never used that word before. I've only ever used the word evil to describe people who physically murder someone. This is psychological, and actually in many ways you could say it's worse, because those of us who experience this evil know what it's like. Yes. But listen to the start of this live stream, and I've left voice messages for this nasty Lucy, very politely, because I've got to be careful, but I've let her know where she's lied to me, because I've played back the recording. Bryony is well known to all the services. Services? There's never been a service from the services. Well known for not doing anything, and it's all there. Just listen to the start of this live stream where I have made notes about my phone call in the last live stream. Have I thought about going to the papers, Bobby? Yes, I've tried. The Herald Bartlett. So it's quite interesting that, you know, I got this in 2003, 2004, long before Eastbourne stuff. And my late mother got me mentioned. I've got a copy of an article in the room where I've got my face in the Gazette, the front of the Gazette. No, it's a headline on the Seaford Gazette saying my daughter was nearly driven to suicide by bullies, but she remained anonymous because she didn't want to. But yeah, a lot of people who were bullied at that school. So yeah, okay. Yeah, it's all time for everyone to go to bed. I'm really... But thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. And thank you, Scott, for clearing that up. I really appreciate you doing that. Obviously, I have to be careful what I say, because, you know, you appreciate, because we've never met and everything. But you know, I did, as I said, I did my hat if I thought that you'd been aggressive and abusive. You're just angry because, you know, I then go and tell Dan I'm feeling suicidal, and he might have a stroke because of me, because they have put me in a dangerous position, and I'm trying hard myself not to lose it, because if I get angry, these Satanists, these Luciferians, whatever you want to call them, evil. But anyway, so call a spade a spade. Thank you so much. There are goals and things to focus on. Tomorrow I'm away, but I'll be back in the evening after tea time. Well, thank you, Brian. It's so heartwarming to know. I can't find the words, obviously, to say thank you. Scott, she can call the police, and any of them who want to join her on her D-Day in hell can feel free to come and bully me yet again and join the rest of the fallen on their D-Day. Good police know I'm good. Yeah, thank you, Scott. Bless you. Bless you. Thank you so much, though. Yeah. Oh, because I'm scared of being arrested. Do you know what I mean? So you guys are my witnesses to those voice messages I've left. You are so important to me because you are my witnesses. Obviously, I feel I'm not well myself because I don't know who I can and can't trust, but you know what I mean. So thank you very much. You're welcome. I don't lie, and I don't give a shit of threats from Lucy, of the police, and these disgusting, egotistical, soulless people that these wrong, hang up, and go running to police roaring, what a fool. Yeah, some folk in position of gaslighting people are extremely condescending when on the phone. They're in another world. They're sick in the head, pathologically sick. Yes, Bryony, it was as if it was a case of, oh, not this Bryony situation again. What sort of attitude she showed me. Well, thank you, Scott. You've heard it for yourself. In fact, actually, Scott, it would be really good if you could record the conversation, because I would love to hear it. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, seriously. I would love to hear you guys ring up Caroline Ansell office, record the conversation, say you're ringing for Bryony McCarthy, because I would love to hear them, because that would give me a fire in my belly. I want to hear it for myself. Oh, good. I'm getting like a bit fiery, a bit angry about it. I've got to be careful I don't get upset. But if you could ring up anybody. She said that you rang the House of Commons, Scott, and then she said it was her that you spoke to. So she's saying she banned you from speaking to the MP office. Whatever. But it's so pathetic. But please, if anyone rings into the MP office for me or anything, please could you record the conversation? I'd love to hear it. I would really, and of course it's evidence. So please do, because I'm on my own. My late mother's estranged friend said, you can't be Superwoman. And that was 13 years ago. And then my mother died. Oh. Yes, Brian, it was as if it was a case. Yeah, I've just read that. Thank you. Thank you. Bless you so much. Okay. Well, give me the money number. I'll call her tomorrow. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bobby. I'll give you, bless you. Can I give you that phone number now then? I don't know why I'm typing this, because I can say it. Oh, Bobby, did you just delete that message? You just retracted the message. She said, give you Caroline Ansell's number. Well, I'm going to give it to you anyway. I'm good. I don't know why I'm typing this. I don't know why I'm typing this, because I can say it. Bobby Kent. Thanks. See, I'm typing it even though you can hear me. 01323 409 123 is Caroline Ansell MP number. Please do record it. Love to hear it and evidence. Because, I mean, even if there were people who were just causing trouble, what difference is it going to make? But anyway, I mean, I'm doing this because I don't know what else to do. Good night, Bumblebee. Good night. Oh, I've gone on here. I'm on here for nearly 3 hours. Yes, bless you, and I hope you have a nice, cozy, warm, cup of tea and be all warm inside. Thank you. Why did I say thank you? I'm saying good night, and I hope you have a good night, Bumblebee, and bless you. Thank you. Scott, they are fallen, soulless people, Brian, in forced positions of power who are in hell right now. And then in their soulless body, they are controlled by the devil they stand with and behave as Lucy has done. Yes, absolutely. Love to be a fly on the wall, yes, with some officers about professionals. Yes, me too. You will hear the conversation about Father Jesus will be reminding her of why she's in trouble. She's in her detail. Believe you me, I'm no liar, and she will reap what she sows. Yes, absolutely. Thanks very much, Bobby. I've just done that. And anyone else who wants to ring the MP office, bless you, thank you very much. It would be really good if you could record it. I would love to hear it, if not for evidence. Do you know what I mean? I just would love to hear. I just want to hear. Oh, I mean, there's guilt all over their faces, seriously. You know that Bumblebee, because there are lots of liars in force, and they were so. Absolutely. Hope everyone gets a decent undisturbed sleep. I promise I'll be back, Bryony. You too. I need to go and lie down, and I haven't eaten anything. I'm about to drop. I'm absolutely about to drop. But bless you. Have a good sleep, everyone. Don't speak to Lucy. She's not worth your time. Nah. Even if she puts her act on not knowing, we all know she hasn't got Bryony's best interest at heart. Speak with Caroline if you can. Caroline, no, she's a. I've got Caroline Ansell's mobile number. Don't ask me how I got it because I can't remember. But for some reason, I'm too scared to ring it. So I'm going to give you Caroline Ansell's personal mobile number, but I don't know if it works. This was when she first came into office, and then Stephen Lloyd took over, and then 797. Right, this is Caroline Ansell's mobile number. But I don't want to see her or speak to her because I'm too angry. She didn't want to meet me. That's pretty much how I felt about Stephen Lloyd. So there's her phone number. That's Caroline Ansell's phone number that I've just put in there. That's her mobile number if it still works. But I've never rung it. I might have texted it. I don't know. I've been passed around like a hot potato. Yes, absolutely, Scott. Do listen to the phone call, won't you? And listen to the start of this live stream. Watch the last live stream and watch the start of this live stream where I've left voice messages calling her out on her lies because she's made herself look quite stupid. Okay. Yeah, all right then. So there we go. Okay, so anyway, there we go. That's Caroline Ansell's mobile number I've just put there. And any phone calls you make about me or whatever, please record them. I'd love to hear it. It would go with my evidence, and I want to hear what their attitude is to other people. And I do believe you, Brian. If they can accuse me of being abusive, then because immediately I imagine a man going, "Oh, F you and F this and F that and FFF," rather than someone actually just being angry and frustrated for me. Because look, that's me taking it out on myself, a 6-inch knife through my arm. I did this in the Strand Hotel. You can see the scar. It went right through my arm. I just got a knife and I went like that, 6-inch knife, and I could have lost the use of my arm. I did that in the Strand Hotel in December 2018. I'd been reported missing in the local Herald in the summer of that year and dragged back to the psychiatric unit that didn't want to help me by PC Arthur Deviney and PC Curtis, who are thugs who dragged me backwards in handcuffs. They could have pulled my arms out. They laughed, pushed me, and they said in the paper, the local paper, the Herald, we found her safe and well. They didn't want to know. Nobody wants to speak the truth because they're all a bunch of, in this town, gutless turds. Yeah. And who are the ones who, I don't know, don't care. Caroline Ansell is a Christian. Christian. Do you hear that, Scott? Someone once said to me, she's a Christian. So what does that mean? You could call yourself anything. Give yourself any name. Say, I'm this, I'm that. The man upstairs, he's not looking at that. He's not interested. He's not looking at works. He doesn't care what you call yourself. It's even a pagan word. A cross is pagan. It's sun worship. Oh, anyway, there we are. No, I'll thank you, Scott, for saying that, for confirming that. I believe you. I believe you. I mean, I know I've never met you and everything. I've never spoken to you. I did hear you. Well, I was in good spirits during Dan's live stream, but then, and I'd spoken to Tina for the first time, and she's lovely. And then it all turned nasty the next day because of the domestic thing that then made me suicidal. And but thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. It was weird how she made sure she told you about the abuse on the phone. Was it to make exactly? But did you notice that she didn't tell me straight away? Just listen back to the phone call, then listen to what I've said at the start of this live stream. I've in my voice messages to her in the office, where I've pointed out her lies. It's almost humorous that to be a good liar, you have to remember your lies. And they get so panicky. Oh, there was someone from BHT in Brighton, because there's BHTs in Eastbourne and they're terrible. I recorded someone saying, she's telling you to leave her alone. And then she said, I said, she said something like, oh, you're getting aggressive, or you're something or other. I said, no, I'm not. There's a camera right outside my room. And then she said something that she didn't say, and then I said, I'm recording it, and then she got all panicky. I have to go, and she hung up because you're catching them out. Just listen to Lucy when she asks me, am I recording her at one point? She panics. I've written it all down. I've caught her out lying several times. So listen to the phone call and then listen to the start of this live stream. Oh, I love narcissists. Bring them to me. Oh, dear. I'm saying that with, tongue-in-cheek sort of thing. Anyway, it was all to make me feel guilty, but she said, "Oh, it's not your fault." I've written down that almost the entire conversation. That's why I'm very tired. Partly why I'm tired. Oh, good for you, Brian. No, she didn't say you swore. She said you were abusive, Scott. But all I said was I don't condone abuse. But if it's you just getting angry for me, obviously I have to be careful because I can't comment because I didn't hear. But you know, I've been accused of being abusive. I've honest to goodness, I've seen and heard it all. There isn't anything I haven't seen and heard. I mean, I was threatened by a demented woman that works in the psychiatric unit called a red-haired Jean, who's always sitting in Greg's, and she's always in there when I'm in there, and she just allowed gossip. Well, I tell you what, Jean in Greg's, who works at Meadowfield in Worthing, and the security was shocked that all I did was disagree. She harassed me and then threatened me. I had a cup of tea and I disagreed with her and she didn't like it, so she threatened me. Nutter. Absolute nutter. And the security said the way she behaved was as if you came at her with a knife. I said she harassed me. I said, but nobody did anything about the young people with knives in Primark. This is in the Arndale. This is in the shopping centre, the Beacon. So yeah, I complained to head office, Greg's, and I got my £10 voucher. But you know, as I said, you just look up Sussex. This is Sussex Partnership. There's bullying in admin. Look at the reviews everywhere. Bullying from admin from top to bottom. Yeah, it's everywhere. We're the ones who have to fight this. We have to stand up. Who's going to be a voice for the children when these nutcases are acting like they need to be in nappies? There are no real men anymore, no real women, I think there's just a small number of very brave people out there who even some of the brave ones, you can see in their eyes they're too scared. They're like, there's a battle of the conscience going on. I don't want to be one of those people because, you know, I know what it's like to be afraid to speak up. And I'm having a battle with that. So, but I've finally broken and I'm doing it now. I feel very weird. I feel like I've got an out of body feeling going on. It's called survival. I've lost my mother and I'm on my own and it's scary. But bless you so much, Scott, Andrew Horn, and you know, Brian and Ian and Warrior Wales, and you know, and of course Bumblebee. You're good, you know. I believe you. Innocent till proven guilty and all that, you know, and he knows what you're doing. So there we are. Yeah. I joined the live when she told you. She's fluffed up her lies. Yes. Okay, folks. Brian needing to eat. Thank you, Brian. Yes. Thank you. So, yes, thank you, Brian. Thank you very, very much. I can see what Dan means. You know, you're great people for watching me and supporting me. Bless you. You understand why I'm sort of like, you know, it is, you know, it's very scary because I shouldn't be having to do this disclosed, because anyone around the world can watch this. I had someone in America watch me live in the early hours being attacked in my accommodation and the police did nothing. I had blood on the door. And she said, "Oh, I thought the cops here were bad." She said, they've done nothing. I said, yeah, welcome to Eastbourne. Sunny Eastbourne, where the sun shines out their backsides. Sun Trap of the South. The rudest people in the country, in my opinion. I mean, I haven't been anywhere much in the country, but I haven't travelled that much around, but I've been to places here and there. Did you record this, Lucy, so I can sue her for defamation of character? No, I was not abusive at all. You know, the woman's a liar, Bryony, you said yourself. Yes. Well, as I said, listen to the conversation, Scott. Listen to it. Listen to that last live stream. That's got the phone call. It's only about 25 minutes long. At 25:07, she threatens to hang up, and she does. It's humorous. And then watch the start of this live stream, and you'll see I've left voice messages for her saying, letting her know at what points in the phone call she has lied. And I said to her, you wonder why I record. They don't like being caught out for their lies. They hide behind in their cozy little clubs, don't they? Yes. Oh, well, anyway, there we are. Thank you, people. Anyway, yes, Scott, you should take my video and you know, I don't know how to give you permission because of my disclaimer and all that. But if you listen to it yourself, maybe can you find a way to do that? I'm sure there'll be people who'll know what to do. I'm trying to find. There's so many comments. I'm trying to. Yes. Good night, everyone. Sorry, I'm getting the general gist of this. Oh, thank you, Bumblebee. Have I inspired you to speak up? Wow. No, I don't want to sound like I'm virtue signaling. I'm just I feel annoyed that I could be doing so much more, but I'm obviously very weak and vulnerable right now, and it's taken me years. I had an abusive relationship after my mother died, an attempted rape, and it knocked me down, and I had to build it a little bit up again. And then my partner now, calling the police on me because I disagreed with him, and they've dragged me in handcuffs, and I'm not that same Amazon anymore, you know, who went to those adamant gigs dressing the way I did. I think it's disassociation, to be honest. That's how I get through a day. It's just, you have to go to that. I tell you what, that's why I believe Jeanette Archer's satanic ritual abuse, because whilst I haven't had those unthinkable things done, I know about going to another part of the mind. Anyway, I won't talk like that now, but there we are. Yes. Does it, Brian? What with Lucy talking about me? Yeah, okay. Can't wait to see this liar that we all know this Lucy is. Bryony, I've been scared to. No, I've just read that. Sorry. Yeah, I've really got to go and try and get something to eat. I've had a lot of takeaways. I'm putting on weight, and you don't lose weight at my you know, I've lost that metabolism. Anyway, yes, you sent her an email. Well done, Bobby. Thank you. Again, you know, I have to be careful because obviously I haven't seen what you've done. We haven't met. I've got to safeguard myself. And that's bloody hard because obviously I mean, I even got paranoid. I say paranoid. I'm concerned about Tina not getting back to me. So my mind then thinks, well, why didn't she get back to me? And, I don't want to sort of irrationalize anything. But, Scott, what you said that I was being irrational leaving voice messages for the MP office. Excuse me. Do you remember last night? Or whenever it was, when I left the voice message about the NHS website about abuse, which is what they're doing, and you said I'm being irrational leaving voice messages at a silly time. Well, this is why I'm doing it. So, that's why I then questioned you, Scott. Do you understand? When you said, oh, there are good police officers out there, and I thought to myself, yeah, but why are you calling the police when you know they're the ones who've traumatized me? So it's a kind of a catch-22, isn't it? But I do appreciate it. And you bring it. Yes. Yes. When triggered and feel threatened as survivor of assaulted and other abusive shit. Oh, yes, I'm sorry too. I'm sorry to you, Bumblebee, as well, T. Excuse me. Help this poor woman. I would take this further to the parliamentary. Thank you. It's just so when you're just trying everything, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? I just don't want to get to that point where I suddenly break down and think, the best years of my life have gone down the drain. Do you know what I mean? There's so much I want to be doing. It's like, oh, bless you. I am putting on weight. I saw a picture on Facebook from some years back when my tummy was going in. Now it's going out. It was going in because I couldn't eat. A couple of years after my mother died, I was struggling again to even just have toast. I need to, I better get off because, it's been over 3 hours now on here. No, I know what you meant. 4 a.m. It is irrational to leave a voice message at 4 a.m. I do that sometimes because I don't feel like talking to someone or I'm anxious, so I do it at a ridiculous hour, Oh, I'm sorry, Scott. I didn't mean to cause you alarm and distress. This is what I mean. I shouldn't be in this position where I'm, I wouldn't, this is not something I would normally do, is to message people a lot. I'm just in this endless loop. It's not normal to keep messaging, but the hell and the torture is out of this world. It's very frightening. And one does feel scared and bad and guilty. I feel terribly guilty about messaging people like this, saying, when I messaged you, Scott, saying, would you like to come and join me in a suicide pact up on Beachy Head? I was trying to be careful with what I typed. And those thoughts were still there after the police left, obviously. And, they've just pushed me over the edge. But it was because of my partner. But yeah, thank you. I do get dehydrated. I must yeah, okay. I must. Oh, my back's aching. Oh, because I'm not sleeping much. But thank you so much. You're really good people. I couldn't live with myself. You saying you're ending it, and I do nothing. There are some good police, some good brothers from Met. And I will never forget that officer, legend he was and is. Yeah, the thing is, though, I'm sure there are good Eastbourne police officers, but they never send them out to me. Do you know what they did? Less than 1 month after I was beaten by the idiots on Beachy Head, one of them, PC Austin, had already hurt my hand, my wrist in my partner's flat, saying that the Home Office trained them to do this. I had to get a nurse at the hospital to look at it. Then they beat me on Beachy Head, and then less than a month later, after I went through the trauma of the human trafficking through the psychiatric unit, and they've still got my clothes and everything. Less than a month later, that PC Austin at the property, I'd only been there a matter of days, and I was attacked whilst I was in the bath. I thought, I've never been so frightened in my life. I thought this woman was going to kill me. This vile degenerate. A big girl. You know, bouncers will say some women are more scary than men. She was big. She did so much damage. It looked like a scene from The Shining. There were wood chippings in the carpet from the door. I suffer with CPTSD. I jumped out of the bath dripping wet. I ran down the stairs and I was trying to put the key in the door. PC Austin and PC Broadway, two of the thugs, apart from the female WPC, PC Soper, turned up. PC Broadway and PC Austin were the ones there. PC Austin found it funny. I was shaking and I was terrified. I thought this individual was I was dripping wet with a towel around me. I nearly climbed out of my window. I would have run into the street naked if I'd had to, with the neighbours. Anyway, there we go. This is how dangerous. There is something very evil in this country, and if people don't speak out, it's going to get worse. Could things get any worse? I mean, how many thousands? 17,000 people alone, I don't know when, took their own lives over the benefits thing, Tina said. 5,000 died from starvation. People are dying on the streets. Someone died on the streets, did you know? I know people who've jumped off Beachy Head. When I was reported missing in the Herald, Reese, a patient, discharged himself and jumped off where his brother jumped. But you go to the psychiatric unit, walk in the door, and the CQC have a massive sign that says, high levels of standards of care. The CQC are the gatekeepers. I've seen Andy Devine's phone calls. I know because I've had them hang up on me as well, that the inspectors, everything. It's all set up to fail you and to kill you off. And you've got to be fighting to the death. Because if you don't fight for yourself, who's going to fight for your children? When they opened the police cell door, I very politely said, even to a nurse, do you have children? Do you know what they did? They slammed the cell door in my face. An innocent woman who's had crimes committed against her human and civil rights. I am here still for a reason. I am here for a reason. Sorry, I'm getting angry now just talking about it. Anyway, PC Austin, yes, Brian. She's assaulted me several times. I had to get them to look at my wrist. Do you know what he said to me? He was laughing at. I said, "Oh, you find it funny? You've beaten me on Beachy Head and twisted my wrist, and you find it funny that I thought this woman was going to kill me." Well, I've still got the scratches where you. I said, "Oh, diddums." And they said in the Herald that I beat them, and they've beaten me so many times because they're liars. Liars. Believe me, Brian, if I was to beat them or beat anyone, they'd know about it. It's because I'm a nice girl. All I did was dig my nails in to get them off me as self-defense, and that solicitor that I reported to the legal ombudsman, she even said someone on Facebook, she admitted that PC Franklin Lester was a bully. Yeah, just ask the manager of Poundland. He likes bullying homeless people. No, they all do. I was once. I've never taken drugs in my life. I don't know what they look like or anything. I've tried cigarettes, but I don't smoke or drink. I don't even take prescription medication, but I was searched for drugs down at Holywell. They've made me. They told some people, someone told me that they were told, if you say that you've come over from Afghanistan with a whole family, they'll put you up. So why do you think I got angry with that crinkled chap? I don't care if people chat me up or even troll me. I get angry when they say stupid things like that because I don't like my intelligence insulted. But, there we are. Yes, they are, Spence. Yes. Yes, it was with PC Austin. So he's seen me more than once in an indecent state. My partner called the police on me, which he shouldn't do, because we were having an argument, and I was in the bath. So what you doing? And I jumped out because I'm terrified. He does it I don't know if he's doing it to scare me, but it feels like it now. And I've always forgiven him. I jump out, quickly throw some clothes on, half dripping wet, because I haven't dried myself. I'm terrified. And he comes in, PC Austin, and I'm kneeling at his feet to show him that I am not a threat. So he starts grabbing my bag where there's a sleeping bag and trying to throw me out. And I started screaming and shouting for Darren. I said, "Darren, he's hurting me. And I was crying. And all Darren would say is, he was whispering, "Go to A&E." So anyway, I didn't want to be personal about my partner, but he's a lot older than me as well. I don't want to be the man in the relationship, as a WPC said to me. No, I don't want to. I'm a woman. I was born a woman. I'm born with the woman bits. I don't want to be the man. I want a man to be a man. I'm not a feminist. No, I'm sick of these cowards, though. Bloody cowards. Will someone grow a pair? Do you know what I mean? Ooh. So anyway, so there we are. Thank you so much. I've just gotten a little bit, there. But yes, PC Austin, PC Broadway, and PC Soper beat me on Beachy Head. On the 7th of October, I went to the police desk to say that I would be returning with my lady witness, and I was put through 24 hours of non-stop torture. Demented magistrates, custody suite managers screaming and shouting at me that I would go to prison. R. Helmsley, and he told me to F off out of there. And again, never been so scared in my life. the police are the criminals. They protect criminals in these council accommodations, and the staff are committing crimes, a so-called hate crime. Call me an effing spastic. Now, I don't consider it to be a hate crime, but they consider it to be, so I'll use that. Thank you, Dan. And well, it's just not a nice thing to be called, is it? But yeah, no, neighbours witnessed staff bullying me along with the licensees. There are no words for it. Oh, you should go up north. It's worse up there. Oh, yeah, fucking yeah. And that's the man. You're an effing spastic. And that's the man who gave me the key to the place, who said he'd walked in on dead bodies in one of their other properties. And they found out that I was making YouTube videos. Yeah. That's when I started making real YouTube videos to document. I'd never made YouTube videos before. So yes, let's throw a spanner in the works. Sorry, what happened last year? Sorry. 2000 and October 2020, I was beaten by those 3 police officers. Then in November, trafficked from the meadow field to that hellhole in Eastbourne, from Worthing to Eastbourne. So that basically, and my stuff was still in the Citrus Hotel because the local government ombudsman and a social worker and Caroline Ansell had done nothing. So there we are. Anyway, yes, Wednesday, the 21st of October, 2020, I'd been on the phone to the local government ombudsman, social worker named Marina, for hours, I might add, exhausted, more exhausted than I am now. You know, like, I'd spent £2,000 every 2 months to stay there. And then I was threatened by a guest, rang 999 and 101. I was hung up on. So I went up to Beachy Head in distress and they orchestrated it. That's it. My right was to go into the pub. The pub told me to sit down and wait to be served. I've still got the Beachy Head pub menu. All in my room, these things are at the property, though, the menu. I took the menu with me to the psychiatric unit. I was beaten by the police, stripped. They put all my stuff in a bag. My stuff was at the hotel. They are doing this. It's human trafficking. A form of human trafficking. So, no. The 21st of October. Wednesday, the 21st of October. Scott, I have sent you sent the MP for Bryony. Could I send you a copy so you can pass it to Bryony? Yes, he does. He looked quite distressed when I looked him in the eye, and I don't listen. It takes a lot. I have to be put through a lot of evil for me to behave like this. But I made a comment about having something to do with the size of, his male parts, his member sort of thing, alluding to it. And he said I was obsessed with it, or but as soon as we got in the car, PC Soper said, "Did you get that? Did you get that? What's she done? What's she done?" I was just like, I called out to Lynn and Steve, who they no longer work for the Beachy Head chaplains. They claimed that I was running all over Beachy Head. No, I wasn't. I was just in the area outside the pub in distress, and the body-worn cameras, which the IOPC have refused to give me. I will forward that email to Dan, actually, because I've had enough now. They're not doing anything. They've got my clothes. They've got my clothes and shoes from that time. This is worse than the attempted rape I had. Oh, I didn't want those clothes back because I'd been raped. I want these clothes back. And if for nothing else, because to show that they ruined them. My canvas trousers. I had a lovely pair of summer canvas trousers that they ruined. Tall women's canvas trousers. You couldn't make it up though, could you? They threw me against the police car, handcuffed me. It's not the first time they've done this. As a welfare check. No, it's okay, Brian. Sorry. I don't mean to get excited or anything. It's Wednesday, the 21st of October 2020, but thank you. Yeah, thank you, Spence. Well, it's my big birthday was 3 weeks ago, and I'm feeling trying not to cry about it. There hasn't been any love. Yeah, I live streamed something on here on my birthday, but I didn't get happy birthday said to me, so I appreciated the comments. Well, Spirit, Faith, End Times, why are you commenting now? Because you've I don't want you here, Spirit, Faith, End Times, because you're the individual whose name I didn't want to mention, but you've threatened me on my videos. So what are you doing here? You've threatened me. You've lied to me, and to be perfectly honest, I've had enough of being lied to. So why are you saying, "Oh, sorry, you're going through this"? You called me a cow. I was angry that you said you helped me. I've spoken to you once on Facebook. You don't show your face. I don't know what you look like, but you lied to me 5 times, and I've caught you out and I've put the evidence there. You said you didn't know who Dan was, but you do know who Dan is, and you put it in the comments section. So, no, I did not. Yes, you did. The evidence is there. And unless you've deleted it, you've got a video being quite abusive about me and lying. I helped you. Have you contacted Tina? I didn't want to give you Tina's. Thank you, Brian, for advising me not to give her Tina's personal email address because she's not a nice person. This is the individual I warned you about because I trusted her. So I don't know what you look like, but you've lied, and I'm not going to get into it with you, but I've had it up to here and beyond with people like you. So I'm not going to say anything nasty or anything, but I don't usually use the F word. And for me to say, anyway, I'm not the only person who's caught you out lying on here. Someone else has seen your lies. So, but there's no excuse for it. I don't care what your issues are, so to speak. I'm not going to be bullied by anyone, okay? So, I'd rather you weren't here, So, if you, I mean, I just don't want, I'm not tolerating any abuse. You're someone who's threatened me, so I don't want you here. You've lied to me. You're no different to Caroline Stevens. So could you please go away? I give a person a chance. And yeah. Okay, well, I think that wraps that one up. So just be wary now, because, you know, I do see through the fakery. There will be people who are causing me trouble. So this, you see what I mean? I just hope you understand now. Scott, I know you said you didn't trust Brian at one time, and I didn't want to comment because I'm nothing to do with your arguments. But Spirit, Faith, End Times, there's evidence. I've caught you out lying. You threatened me on my own videos with something to do with GDPR. Anyway, I've blocked her, so hopefully she's gone. But she said she knew Dan. She said she didn't know Dan. I've said where that is on the 8th of, was it the 8th of March? About 1 hour and 10 minutes into my video, my live stream for voice messages. She said, states, don't know who Dan is. But go to Spirit, Faith, End Times profile. She's talking about Dan from Police Abusing Powers. Wowee. And she said she helped me, and she's deluded. I helped her. She said she was a wheelchair user. I gave her the UK independent website that Tina runs. Nah. So, might be vulnerable, but I'm not stupid. We've already had one stupid person lying to me, Lucy, and has threatened Scott. So it's all attack. And to be honest, there's someone right now who's had a stroke, and I don't want it to be because of any of you idiots out there, all right? Anyone out there who's saying, oh, Brian is doing this, Brian is doing that, get a life, get a life. Sorry about that. There's someone who really is ill, who's had a stroke. Right, I'm off out of here now. So, but thank you very much to the kind people who have supported me. Hi, Brian. Did you copy and paste that? I asked you to give Brian time to work it out. No, I'm not giving someone, I'm sorry, Brian, but I don't know why I'm saying sorry. I've done this before with, well, I mean, I don't care what her issues are. I've got to be very careful about the words that I use, because Dan did email me, but I don't care what her issues are. I caught her out lying. The evidence is there. She snapped me using the F word, saying my thing wasn't working at this point, and I mumbled to myself, hoping someone would hear it because I was so angry. I said, effing disgusting, a woman in a who claims to be in a wheelchair be lying to me. I'm angry. I don't like being lied to. I'm shaking just saying that, because I've had non-stop lies and abuse, and she threatened me. She did exactly what Caroline Stevens did, and there's no excuse. I've got to be firm now, because I've got a partner who has put me through some things. I've got to think of number one, as Dan said. So thinking of number one is even disregarding, maybe even if I might disagree with Dan, but I do not give people a chance who lie to me and threaten me. And Caroline Stevens is one of them. She'd prayed for me. I mean, someone else said she's a nutcase and she's a horrible woman who can't be trusted. Will you listen to Caroline Stevens Seeking the Truth? She sounds lovely. She did sound lovely. She prayed for me, talked me out of suicide, because I was very close to going up there 2 months ago. And just because I asked her, why is she saying, because I recorded it, I accidentally live streamed it for 7 hours. The thing was left running because I was in distress. She said that Scott Franklin Lester's real name was, she said the guy's name is Dan something. Can't remember what's his surname. And I asked her, and she asked me to take the live stream down because she said it would not be good for either of us. So I said, no, you're right. But then she threatened me. She said, it's on Facebook. Ian can see it. Ian Broadhurst, you can see it. She said, you ever do that again, and I don't know. But she said, you're already in trouble with the police. I've never even met these people. I don't know them. I've never met you guys. Do you know what I mean? So, no, she didn't. You don't make a mistake, Brian, when you've lied, Brian. Trust has to be earned, as you said. And I called her out. I called her out on those lies. That's why I said to you, Brian, I'm not happy that you're standing up for her. You even said, be careful what you're saying. So when Scott said he doesn't trust you, Brian, do you understand that then puts a thought into my mind? Because I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Why is Brian saying in the live stream, telling her to be careful? Well, I caught her out for lying to me. I called her out, and she should have said, she should have just backed off, but she didn't. She threatened me when there was nothing to threaten me with. If anything, she's breached my GDPR because there's a disclaimer that says if you share my videos, you're breaching me. Without my permission, me, the uploader, Bryony McCarthy. You think I'm gonna? Oh, she made a silly mistake. Oh no. She called me a silly cow. She said she's got a video of me saying I've got a loose tongue and that she helped me, and she's got nothing on me, nothing. And I called her out for lying. That is dangerous, Brian. I don't care what her issues are. You lie, you deceive me, you threaten me, you're out. That's it. I've already... What do you think this has all been about? I'm not going to cool it. You're either with me or you're not on this. And we might have to... Okay, we might have to disagree to some extent. But anyway, I think it's time to sort of wrap this up. But, because obviously it's been a... You understand, though, why I had to be wary of what Scott was saying, because Scott said he didn't trust you, Brian, at one point, and I thought, I'm not getting involved. I have to be careful with Scott, which Scott, I explained why, because we don't know each other. I don't know what he said, but I then call out this woman. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, I don't need to explain, or it's just Anyway, so there we are. But it's been a nice evening, so I don't want to. It's been a nice chat and everything. So, for all I know, let's just say for argument's sake, I could have 50% of PAP supporters doing nasty things behind my back, saying to just for argument's sake. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm that vulnerable that I could have quite a large amount of people saying to Dan, she's a bit confused. She's this or she's that, and making up stories and stuff. And that's a chance I've had to take because I've got no choice. I'm that vulnerable. But there we are. Anyway, I'm going to end this now. So, all right. Anyway, thank you very much, people. And, you know, I just hope you understand what I'm saying, because, you know, yeah, I'm going to try and get some food now. And I really do appreciate you guys supporting me. I just don't want you to take what I'm saying personally. I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of abuse. I've had a lot of people abuse me. That's why I'm a loner. Not because I'm not a nice person. On the contrary, because the opposite. And people do nasty things to good people. So anyway, so I'm going to leave this now. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And I hope you have a good night. Yeah. You understand it makes me very wary, though. When people sort of, if you're not going to listen to what I say and have a look at the evidence of what I'm saying, and you're going to cover for someone, as I've said, I wouldn't go. Do you really think I want to spend my precious time making a live stream about a troll? Why do you think I would do that? There is so much I need to be doing. So much I've got to do. I don't want to waste my time making a live stream about someone that I have helped, that's lied to me at least 5 times. And I've called them out and I said, go and have a look at my live stream from the 8th of March, 1 hour and 10 minutes in. She's saying she doesn't know who Dan is. Then she makes a nasty troll-ish video about me. Go to her account and you'll see. And she's mentioned Dan from Police Abusing Powers and played the theme. She commented under his live stream about me, lying about me. She said the council helped me and that I no longer live in Eastbourne. Really? Do you see what I mean, Brian? I'm fuming angry about that. So no, I cannot trust all of the PAP people. So you can have a look for yourself, anyway. Anyway, I've really got to go. So, yeah, no. You. Sorry, where were you? Yes, I know. 3.25 hours. Yeah, you were there. You saw it then. That's not an easy mistake to make, though, is it? That's an outright lie. And it wasn't just one lie. She is a Lucy. And she threatened me as well. What has this all been about? This Lucy from the MP office has done the same. This Caroline Stevens has done the same. Being all nicey, then threatening, then hanging up. Anyway, there we go. Because I got to toughen up with my partner. And I'm saying it, and that's it now. So, okay, got to go. Anyway, hope you have a good night, and love to all and all of that. And okay, got to go. But yeah, so just it's where I find it difficult to sort of wrap it up. Anyway, thanks very much, and good night for now. Cheerio.